Hello, and welcome to Now Kiss, featuring my co-host Cameron, who is currently making a pot of coffee because he got stuck in traffic for 20 minutes this morning and literally just got here. So we appreciate Cameron, and we'll let him get to that. We'll let him make coffee before he has to sit down and read a bunch of stuff. Achoo! 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 Well, good morning. Hi. So welcome to Now Kiss. It's been a while. Due to I was away at PAX, then I was at XOXO, and then we just had to like we could have done this after the week of the PPR, which was super fun, but it was PPR on Tuesday, and so there's a ton of extra work that we have to do because of that. And then we hey, good morning. We got some subs coming in. I'll just tell you quickly about this. But then it was the PPR prep on Tuesday, which is a lot of work behind the scenes. The actual PPR on itself on Wednesday. The PPR bonus content on Thursday, and then a panelist recording session on Thursday. And Cameron and I were just like, see you in 9 hours? After we were done all that, and we're like, actually, no, maybe not. Let's just let's not drag our broken bodies in. So, but I'm feeling rested because this is the first week in a long time, probably months, that I didn't have a hugely pressing deadline to deal with, in addition to all of my other work. So yeah, I didn't have to, I was able to do old work, catch up on stuff I said I would do. Ooh, how exciting. So yeah, but Anonymous List has subscribed for 29 months in a row, saying, Analogue, a Hate Story was my first introduction to Christine Love, and along with Hate Plus made me a lifelong fan, so happy to see it on Now Kiss. Corsair Wind has cheered with 100 bits, saying, good morning, Kathleen and Cam. 4D Swiss Cheese is continuing the gift sub they got from Snake. 12341. Thank you, 4D Swiss Cheese. Arcane Illumination subscribed for 31 months in a row. I don't have anything funny to say, just glad to have been supporting you guys this way for 31 months. Cartophile just subscribed, and Doc Samurai subscribed for 27 months in a row, saying, yay, with my new job I can watch Twitch at work again, so I can finally watch some kissing live. Yay, excellent.
Hello.
Yeah. No worries, my man. You cannot do anything about the traffic. So yeah, let's, do you want to take us into our, I guess, the right corner view?
Let's do it. So I've been looking forward to playing this game for, well, a long time. This came out in, what, 2012?
Yeah, it was like one of the best games of 2013, apparently.
Yeah.
It's on a write-up of some of the best narrative games of all time. I can tell you that we played Lady Killer in a Bind, and it was really good. Much better than I thought it would be.
Okay.
I still say Lady Killer is the best game I played on this stream. I've played a lot of games now.
All right. I need to buy that, actually. I need to commit to giving it some time.
Yeah. Oh, Phoenix Miller says, I vastly prefer this game to Lady Killer. Interesting. Mihal D has subscribed for 57 months in a row. Why can't I say your name? Hello, everyone. A wonderful 57 months of spending time with you in an entirely non-analog way. And K. Pancranzio? Sure. 31 months. Thank you so much for all the support. We really appreciate that. All right. New. So, how much do you know about this game, Cameron?
I know that it's like a science fiction kind of setting. Oh, Defrost has just resubbed for the 45th month. Wild Caffeinated Cameron appears.
I'm not sure if you're quite caffeinated yet, but...
We're getting there. That it deals with exploring a lost colony ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like very your jam.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued.
The write-up I read on it is that somehow this slower than light colony ship devolved into a feudal society, and then everything got wiped out 600 years ago. So now you have to figure out what happened, but while dealing with a very untrustworthy, an unreliable AI narrator.
Oh, okay.
Or not
I like
narrator,
that like
but
that,
character.
but yeah. I like that a lot.
So let's see. So the starship,
Magungwa?
I don't speak Korean.
Yeah, neither do I.
That's it. This is the system of the property of the Unified Korea Space Aid Probe Agency. Access, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Available commands. Download. Disable AI. Enable AI. Help.
Oh.
S super user. Mugungwa.
Oh.
Requires password to use. Ah.
Too early for typing. Let's enable the AI.
Use to select a new AI personality. Any active personality must be disabled first. Currently active personalities. Hyun I.
The same person as the user who logged in?
Okay.
Maybe they uploaded themselves as a personality?
Interesting. Ah. So... maybe the download key will give us some kind of... or the download command will give us a key. Okay. Disable AI, space, Hyun I. Oh, okay, so we have to enable it then. You may now close this terminal with quit.
Cool.
Hello. Oh my word, an external connection. Is someone out there? It's been so many years since I've spoken to anyone. Oh geez, I'm being discourteous. My apologies, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hyun I. The star is, of course, silent. It just represents that I'm an AI. I control all the log-keeping systems on the Mugungwa, or at least what's left of them.
Load AI waifu.
Please, excuse me for 1 second. I'll give you a terminal so you can respond. The King of Engineers gave us 100 bits. I love this game, love you guys, and I'd love to see everyone at PAX Oz.
Yeah.
There you are. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, we could be Camleen.
Once more, Camleen rides again. Ah, geez, my apologies. I don't know why, but what you typed looked like garbage to me.
Ha!
Wow. Cuts to the bone. That's bad. I think there may be a problem with my language parsing systems. Ah. Sorry, somehow your input is getting mangled between the terminal and me. I'm so terribly sorry. Let me just try something. Can you understand this? All right. Very well. We have that at least. I'm afraid if we can't get text input fixed, that'll have to suffice. I'm terribly sorry. It must be difficult being unable to say anything. This might be difficult then. Well, nevertheless, as the archive system AI, I'll do my best to help you navigate these records anyway. Unfortunately, it might be a little difficult since, well, without language parsing, you won't be able to do text searches either. Don't worry though, it's my duty to provide assistance with archive functions. I'll do my best. Right, let me see. I'll try to provide you with a sampling of logs to start out with, and you can just show me things that you want more information on.
Oh, it's gonna be so hard to solve this mystery. It's gonna be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
I hope that'll be acceptable to you. That's all I can do. Well, that's all I suppose. Pardon me. Let me just build you an interface to work with so you don't have to struggle with the terminal. Very well. It's all set. And, I suppose this is a little bit awkward, but, can I just say one more thing before you get to work?
Sure.
I'm very happy to be working with you. I've had nobody to talk to for such a long time. It got so lonely. Having someone to talk to is really, really amazing. I thought maybe I never would again. Sorry about the communication barrier, but even still. Ah, geez, I'm babbling. I won't hold you up any longer. Here's your interface. I hope it's good enough.
A sad, lonely. Yeah, alright. So there's use the override terminal, access log documents, and just chat.
Okay.
Well, let's look at some log documents. Oh, if we know document IDs, we can just search them. Helpful notes. That's supposed to be... I feel like I should be taking notes about all of these IDs.
Yeah.
Pale Bride? What kind of name is that?
Interesting.
Whoa! I guess that's why there's a pale bride. That sucks.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, I don't think that's particularly...
It's a hell of a thing to see in a colony ship record. Uh-huh.
What does abased mean?
Let's
Is it like debased?
Let's get a definition.
Like, I'm...
Behave in a way so as to belittle or degrade someone.
Interesting.
Synonyms: humble, humiliate, belittle, demean, lower, degrade, debase, cheapen, discredit.
Alright. That's what I thought. But always good to check.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how you
good
get
to be
it.
precise.
That's why you get a big vocabulary, is you're just like, I actually am not 100% sure what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, that's miserable.
Yeah.
Alright, I thought this would be like, these commands do this.
A pack of idiots. Year 315.
I'll read this one.
Alright.
When our family falls into decline, I just want it to be perfectly clear why. It's because Daehyun's sons are the biggest collection of idiots on the entire ship. Father says these sorts of words shouldn't be written down, calling them unfilial, but I'm skeptical. I intend no disrespect to my noble ancestors, but my dead uncle is no ancestor of mine, and his family deserves no respect. This has been in motion for years now. It was an inevitability then. It was an inevitability, even, that any sons of Daehyun would turn out the way they did. But up until now, to anyone outside of the family, it's been well hidden, and is only now starting to fall apart in a way that no amount of good politics can disguise. A turning point was this year. At the time I write this, I'm returning from Sang-jung's funeral. In that family, there were 3 brothers. Sang-jung the drunk, Sang-kyu the dim-witted brute, and Sang-min, who, despite being the eldest, seems to have more interest in cavorting with courtesans than in creating an heir. Notably absent from the morning proceedings was Sang-kyu. I knew what he was doing. I do not know. Knowing him, I can only guess.
Count Jondi has just reset for the 8th month. Cam on the cam for the kissing jam. What have I been missing?
I don't know if there's a lot of kissing in this game. The affair was made even more laughable by Sang-min and his widow's mother's insistence that Sang-jung had died of natural causes. Apparently they'd even found a doctor willing to put such nonsense on the official record. An unmarried noble managing to drink his way into the grave at only 30 years of age would be embarrassing enough. To brazenly try to hide the obvious, however, that will mark the beginning of the Smith family's fall. Well, this is made by Smith Kyung Sam. Is this maybe... When our family, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like, maybe they're cousins or something?
I guess so, yeah.
Because they're not, there's no reference to brothers.
No. Yeah, they well, yeah, the uncle's sons,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yes, my dead uncle is now... Okay, yeah, okay. These are... So this is somebody's... You missed us meeting and... Oh, did you miss anything?
I assume this is also by way of marriage, because they say that...
pronunciation.
That, Oh. May. Oh, the EO is a U sound.
So that's... So if that's a U... Like as a cut.
And EU is the okay, the O noise in book.
Fuck, I'm so bad at other languages. I'm like bad at language. So if this is Hue A, because it's May, Hue A, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Okay, we can do this. Hue A. Well, that's fun. Oh, we have a message.
Oh, hello. Actually, I was just testing that indicator icon to see if it would get your attention. I just thought it'd be a good way of letting you know when I have something to say. I mean, like, if I think it's super important, I can always just interrupt you, but, I don't want to distract you if I can help it. I mean, that'd suck, right? What kind of computer program forces herself onto you right in the middle of you trying to work? Oh, so I'll try not to do that.
Aw.
Anyway, that's all. I guess it worked. Carry on and I'll set the indicator again if I want to tell you something.
Oh, can we favorite messages?
Looks like it. Oh, new.
Recent. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so that was everything in block 4. Block 9. The new heir. This is a year later. It says 316 rather than 315.
Yeah.
When he died this year, my father was an absolute nobody. I don't say this just to disrespect his honor, it's the complete opposite. He knew it, and it was a far worse fate than he ever deserved. It wasn't until I was maybe 16 that I even realized we were supposed to be from a noble family. Certainly we had never much of means. Father was a minor official in the interior decks, and he spent his last days dealing with minor peasant disputes. Of all things, peasant disputes. With the poverty we lived in, no wonder it never really sank in that we were of noble blood. Not until I met the main family for the first time. They were so proud, or they were proud, despite the fact that I now realize that they too were suffering from our same lack of royal favor. But I could tell the difference. They hadn't given up. Their son was still alive at that time, and even though he was a child half my age, I couldn't believe his confidence. It put us to shame. Absolutely put us to shame. But their son died later that year, and my father died just a few months ago. I don't know what we're gonna do, but Mother managed to convince sister's husband to adopt me into the main Kim family. I don't think it took much. So now I'm heir, just like that. Kim Jong-soo's adopted son. Not that I have the time or position to be proud, but having spoken sincerely with my new father, I think we're on the same page. I'm going to study furiously, and I'm going to become a scholar official. What I didn't tell him was my ambition. I won't settle for any peasant jobs. I'll be better than that. I'm not going to stop until I manage to fulfill my father's dream. High Magistrate. I won't settle. I will not settle. I think Jong-soo expects me to disappoint him, but damn well I will not. I'm the heir of the Kim family. I'm not going to let him down. He wants prosperity. I'll give it to him. More importantly, I'm never going to let any other Kim son feel like his family doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Never again. I swear on my ancestors. Never again. Well, that's a motivated boy. Hey, tomorrow, boys. Cheered with 500 bits. Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new job. Dear Smith, and this is... Smith Hyung Sam. I don't know why you insist putting this all in writing when we could just have a perfectly good conversation. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do it, whatever you want. You're the man. I just think it's a little weird. I don't really get it. Anyway, as to your question, you're spot on about the pale bride being the focus of attention in the royal family. Not for the reasons you wanted, though. I don't know where you heard those rumors, but they are so not true. That girl a troublemaker? No way. I don't see it. Like, it's not even convincing as a rumor. That girl is the most polite, most obedient person I've ever seen in my entire life. The idea of her fighting with her husband is completely unimaginable. In over a month, I've never so much heard her raise her voice in a disagreement. She's quiet, courteous, and does everything she's told without even the slightest hesitation. I'm sorry, but there's no way you could possibly exploit any drama here. This is as undramatic a situation as it gets, especially not compared to the situation with your cousin and that courtesan. Don't get me wrong. She bugs the hell out of me. The girl is just too perfect. She's young, she's beautiful, she's demure to the point where I don't even think she has a personality of her own, but she gets along perfectly with the queen. Of course she commands all the attention of the emperor. Can you blame him? I'm sorry, but there's no way he's ever going to be anything but extremely grateful to the Kim family for giving her over. Interesting.
This was 5 years after that last message.
It's from Mute. Marital admonitions. Interesting. Who's this? You want to read this one?
Yeah, sure. To the woman who will marry my husband. Please, But please, do not think that all of this is meant to say you will be unloved. You may be a second wife, but you are still the daughter of a noble house, and that is a precious gift to the Ryu family. My husband has faith that you will bring him a son, and this means all the world to him. Nor am I jealous, for you will relieve a heavy burden on our house, and for that I am grateful. As proof of his affection for you, let me share with you one secret which I have been permitted to tell only you. In honor of you, my husband, in his capacity as captain and emperor, has permanently changed his admin password to your birth name. My new sister, you will be brought into the Ryu family not as a mere lowly woman, but a symbol of power in the inner chambers. You will not only represent the continuation of the Ryu bloodline by providing him a son, but your very name will represent the power of the captain's computer. Understand this, pale bride. Your duty may be great, but you will be loved.
Interesting.
Ah, okay. So the password is Smith.
Is it?
Right? That was the Smith family from the previous block? The pale bride was from
Yeah, but
them?
we don't know her first name, so we don't know the password to the computer.
I thought it was her family name.
Oh, maybe. That was in block 6?
I thought.
Smith is the person... Yeah, so... So the pale bride's this very obedient, nice person.
Yes.
Essentially.
Not Smith, it's the one before? Oh, okay.
No, this is our very, very motivated young boy. We're from block 9? It is from block 9? Are you sure this doesn't seem to reference the Pale Bride at all? Weird.
Yeah.
Hi Cam, Kathleen and Cam. Hi chat. What have I missed? I don't know yet.
Yeah. We are investigating the computer system of a derelict colony ship.
Okay, so this guy, Smith Kyung Sam, is the person who's like, rah! Or person, I guess.
Yeah.
Because indeterminate gender. Smith Kyung Sam is just like, my cousins are morons. And then... This is a different person.
Yep.
But then somebody in the Smith family is trying to stir up trouble with this.
With the pale bride.
Yeah. So this is the Kim family tree. There's Jung Soo. And when they mentioned him as a family that had... And yeah, we don't know anything about the Pale Bride. We don't know her name. So we don't know the computer password. Yeah, it's in block 10, somebody says.
Huh.
That looks like it was written by the outgoing wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, well. Maybe we can talk.
Yeah, let's talk to the AI. If you look in your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button of me to show me whatever it is.
Oh.
So, which subject do you wish to know more about? Well, should we show her that one?
Yeah, sure.
Ah, of course. The last person to hold the titles of captain and emperor on the ship was Ryu In-ho. Which of Ryu's captain's wives do you wish to know more about?
This one.
Very well. She wrote a lot, so this is going to be tricky to filter.
Oh, excellent.
I guess I'll just start at the top and I'll let you figure out what's important. Oh, this is the same one.
Oh. But maybe we have new stuff that we can look at. Aha!
Block 5.
she's referred to as wife and nickname. Brah. Well.
The second month of the 319th year was one of great fortune for the Kim family. While on official business, the captain and Emperor Ryu confided in me that he wished that I had a daughter of marriage age to give him, to take on as a second wife. His first wife had been unable to provide a son and was becoming increasingly concerned that she never would. At the start of the month, I had no daughter in my family to give. My only son, Yong Seok, was still without child, yet it was a perfect opportunity. This may sound fantastical, but I swear it is true. Passed on through the generations of the main branch of the Kim family is a giant egg of translucent luster, such that one can see the form of a sleeping child inside. She is known as the Pale Bride for the inscription on the egg, and she was entrusted in our family to be awakened during a time of great prosperity. Yet, as any man knows, prosperity is seized, not waited on. A daughter to provide the emperor with a son would elevate the family above all the other noble houses once and for all. Considering this, I promised the emperor that I did have a daughter who would soon be of marriage age to present him. Then I smashed the egg such that the Pale Bride passed through the Kim family for years, can be adopted as my own daughter. She is a strange child, but will make a fine wife for the emperor. What good fortune this means.
Huh. That's not where I was expecting this to go.
No. Dear Diary, last week I woke up from cryostasis. Before I went in, Father promised me that when I woke up in the future, they'd have medicine again, that I'd finally get better, that I might not see him again, but his descendants would make everything right. But the future broke its promise. I'm scared and confused, and I don't get what's happened. I think there was a big disaster while I was in stasis or something. Everyone's so uneducated and stupid. Father and Mother were kind of dumb at times, but the guy who woke me up, he might be named Kim, but he's nothing like them. Father was wrong. Nothing's better. The future sucks.
Uh-oh.
Dearest Mother, do you recall how in my last letter I mentioned the Pale Bride being brought into the household? I take back any kind words I might have said about her. That awful child is nothing but the most insufferable person I have ever met. I just thought I would have a little more time of peace with Yong Sok's adopted mother visiting her own family. I've been given full responsibility over that miserable child. What happened to my promised domestic bliss? She's in trouble so often, one would think she were a boy.
Huh.
She acts like one, too. I suppose it can't be helped. She says she lived her first 12 years in the past, and I can see it. She certainly acts as though she's from a less civilized time. Just last night, she made a huge scene at dinner time. She kept trying to rudely leave the table in front of Yong Sok and father-in-law, loudly insisting that she was too sick to eat. She has said this before, too. I was worried, so I had a doctor examine her. She is, of course, in perfect health. When I asked why she thought otherwise, she started talking about how pale and thin she was. She's not truly unhealthy. All she was doing was rubbing it in that she is far more delicate and beautiful than I. What a cruel little child. Why must she be so spiteful to me?
Interesting.
So, her name is Kim.
Yeah.
Or her family name is Kim.
Yeah.
It was 4 years since she was woken up? Or no, it wasn't.
No. That's 319.
Yeah.
$316, 3 years. Kim Yong Suk. So apparent, all of these people are very interconnected. This is 321. Wait a minute.
So she was 14 when she was married?
Whoa, gross.
Ugh.
I mean, that's what happens when you wake up in a feudal society. They're like, 14? Married at age.
God.
Can you imagine?
Ugh.
Blech. Blech. But hold on, that's 321 and this is 319. Is time going towards 0?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Blah. I've heard this game is a sequel to Digital Love Story, but you can play it on its own.
Okay.
I've never seen a lot of the reviews of this game have seen. It's a good game, and you don't necessarily. No, the dates increase like you expect.
Okay.
Weird.
Should we show anything to the AI?
Yeah. Well, we've got a bunch of new stuff.
Oh, Do you want to know more from Kim Young-sok's wife, or do you want the reply from her mother?
Definitely the reply from her mother.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have anything. I can't explain why if you want. You have to understand something. It's traditional for women's letters to be deleted after being read so the disk space can be reallocated. Women weren't really supposed to read or write. Certainly the nobles did. It's just the idea was that spending time on education got in the way of the important virtues for women, which was serving her husband.
You unlock entries largely by showing the files to the AI. Interesting.
So in practice, even if the woman was literate, she could at least excuse it by destroying her words afterwards. It's less pretentious if at least the writing wasn't permanent.
Oh my gosh.
Does that all sound reasonable to you?
No, that's awful.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is. But that's how it is. But regardless, Kim Young-sok's wife was certainly definitely considered a very virtuous woman, so I have none of the letters that she received. So I'm sorry, I can't give you anything there.
Well, I guess we can go look at the other one.
Oh, Do you want more from Kim Young-sok's wife, or do you want the reply from her mother? Very well, I can give you a couple from his wife. Here you are.
Boop. Haha. All right.
All right.
Let's read them in chronological order, shall we?
My new wife moved in last week, and she's been pestering me ever since. Everywhere I go in the house, she's either following me or waiting outside the door. The first time it happened, it unnerved me like nobody would believe. The most recent time, I'd stopped being unnerved and moved on to just being plain annoyed. I only had one thought. Why won't this silly girl just give me some peace? No wonder her parents were so anxious to send her to our home. Hours before, she'd been hanging around in the room. I finally kicked her out when my mathematics tutor arrived. The session went without a hitch, aside from reminding me of just how much I hate the damn subject. And after a few hours, he left. And who's kneeling right outside my door? It's her, of course. Have you been here the whole time? I asked her. Of course she had. For the love of... We need to talk. So I brought her back in and sat her down at the desk. What is this? You're driving me insane. I don't have the time to be babysitting you constantly, I said. I wasn't angry, just annoyed. But she looked alarmed all the same. For a moment, I was worried she was going to start crying. Instead, she just turned her head away. Do you hate me? She asked. Women, why must they be so damned emotional? I reminded myself that I was talking to a female. I needed to approach this differently. Look, I said, you're very pretty. I appreciate that you're trying, so no, of course I don't hate you. She looked back at me, seeming like she was holding back tears. Then why don't you need me for anything? Is there nothing I can do for you? No, not unless you can help me study the classics. She looked down. Right now, nothing is more important to me than passing the civil service exam. Can you even read? A little, she said. A little isn't enough, I replied. What if I sat in on your lessons? I could learn more. I'd be quiet, of course. Please. I was about to say no, then I changed my mind and agreed when I heard her next line. At least give me a chance to earn your approval, please.
Interesting. I'm glad you're enjoying Persona 5 Exit Pursued by Bear. And there's The New Girl by Kim Young-sok's wife.
Dearest Mother, it seems as though there will be a new girl in the family. I don't really understand the details, but her name is the Pale Bride, and it seems as though she's a 13-year-old girl who's been kept inside a giant egg through some sort of magical technology, passed through the Kim family over the generations. As I said, I don't understand how such a thing is possible, but she seems nice enough. Young-sok seems quite annoyed at her arrival, however. He explained to me why. The plan's to offer her as a concubine to the Emperor. She's young and beautiful, and he's still without a son, so it'll probably go a long way in currying favor. And that's bad? I asked him. Not strictly, he admitted, but it means Father doesn't have much faith in me if he's making contingency plans that don't require my involvement. Now, I'll never know if my success was on my own merits or because the Emperor thinks the girl he'll give him is cute. Did you even tell him your plan of working your way to becoming High Magistrate? If he knows that, how can he think a contingency is necessary, I asked. Good question, he said, and left the room looking annoyed. To this date, these worries of his still seem to plague him, and I can't seem to do anything to relieve him of that.
Interesting. So that's that guy who got adopted. And it was like, I'm working my way up.
Maybe I'm not getting it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I was like, she doesn't have anything to show me here, so... But we can show this one.
Well, I suppose I can give you more about Yong Seok. I don't know. I don't think you'll really find him very interesting, but here, you can see for yourself.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, wow, yeah.
Alright.
The new happiness. Dearest Mother, finally I believe Yong Seok has grown comfortable with me. All it took was some time for me to earn his trust. Learning how to read by watching over my husband's shoulders and how I envisioned spending my first year of marriage. I can't complain about anything that makes me spend so much time with him, though. We've talked and decided we won't try for a son right away. Right now, he's just not ready for it. That aside, things are good. If this is what married life is like, I think I can be happy with this. We're getting along well and I like him. Perhaps it's not quite what I was led to expect, but it's still good. Domestic bliss indeed. Last week, Yong Seok was reading over some papers for a dispute that Magistrate Park was deciding on. You wouldn't understand the details, but it was essentially an argument between a farmer and his lord over a sum of money after a particularly poor harvest. I will tell the magistrate that the farmer is right. His claim is fair, he told me. Might I take a look, I asked, bemused. He handed the papers to me. It took a good while of studying just to be sure. After all, I wouldn't want to contradict my husband if he was right. But the farmer's numbers didn't seem to add up. I pointed this out to him. He not only listened patiently, but had me explain. Then, you believe the farmer is trying to cheat his lord, he asked. I did. That's what I will report then. The next day he told me that the magistrate agreed. And ever since then he has started to rely on my opinion when it comes to anything involving math.
Yong Seok's wife is very smart. And very patient.
Yeah.
I wish we knew her name!
Yeah.
I wish we knew any of these women's names.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this poor girl from Stasis shows up. Well, it's true is that I might be, as my wife suggests, alarmingly serious. It's hard to argue with enjoying a nice meal out of it means cultivating Magistrate Park's trust even more. Just having the invitation alone's a pretty good sign. I assumed we'd be going to his house after finishing with the day's affair, but instead he led the other way. Oh, you do not want to visit there. My son has a newborn child who is very, very unconductive to entertaining guests, I am afraid, he said with a laugh. Surely you'll understand. Instead, we headed to the plaza. Outside of the occasional New Year's festivals, when I was a child, I'd never actually been there before. I never had much of an eye for details at the time, so I was surprised to see now just how richly decorated everything was for what was essentially a giant market. Beautiful floral arrangements adorned every stall, wall, and partition, and rather than the commotion of a crowd, all I could hear was the sound of peaceful music. It was still, of course, a market. There were no merchants loudly hawking wares, and some of the prices and the signs would make the Emperor blush. In the atmosphere, we ate together at a public house that defied my expectations. The food was both plentiful and far better than I'd had in either of my houses. This sounds indulgent, it absolutely is, and I definitely don't plan on telling anyone details like this. The only thing I plan to repeat from this evening is what the magistrate confided in me, that when he was moved from his position, he'd like to recommend me to fill his place. I'd be young for the position, but it'd be a great stepping stone to the one I'm dreaming of. I have remained calm since I'm good at that, but it's the best news I've heard in my life. Interesting.
Hey, I just wanted to say, thanks for paying attention to me. It's like I was saying earlier, I just haven't had anyone to talk to in so long. The last time there was anyone around on the ship was The year 322. By my count, it's now 944. I mean, do you have any idea how long that is?
We're reading entries from like 321.
Yeah.
Something happens very
soon.
Yeah.
It wasn't really so bad at first. It was nice to not have to worry about anyone telling me what to do. I could just occupy myself, go through the old logs. But, well, I read quickly. After the first few years, it really started to sink in, the loneliness. Eventually, you sort of get used to it. It feels awful. You never like it, but you get used to it in ways that sort of scare you. There was a whole 100 years that went by where I didn't have a single thought. Not a one. I just sat there idle. I didn't even notice. I had been feeling particularly, what's the word? Sleepy? I want to say, but that's not right. I guess maybe that doesn't translate. Anyway, the point is, I was in a lazy mood, and I decided to call my clock slip routine, and it turned out it had been 3 trillion milliseconds since the last time I called it. Scary. Geez, I'm rambling. Sorry, as you can understand, my perception of time is all off. Sorry, I'll shut up. But my point is, I'm really happy to have someone out there. I mean, the Pale Bride was put into stasis with some kind of disease.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it was probably some sort of infectious disease.
Yeah.
And maybe just everybody died of, like, space pox.
Yeah.
Or measles. No, probably not measles if she's pale, but, like, anything, really.
Yeah.
Airborne illnesses?
Well, yeah, Pale Bride, she says she doesn't eat much and feels sick. She's skinny.
Kind of sounds like leukemia or something blood-related. Maybe? Who knows? There's lots of diseases that make you pale and skinny, and many of them are contagious. And wouldn't be a problem unless you're in a feudal society.
Yeah.
Alright, so then 322. That's when...
That was the last year.
Uh-oh. I kind of feel bad. This couple seems very hardworking.
Dearest Mother, if you haven't already heard the good news, my husband has been appointed by the Emperor to the position of magistrate. He's taken over the office from Magistrate Park starting today, which is just tremendous for a man his age. I have no doubt that he was perfectly humble when he got the news, since he certainly had been while talking about it in front of father-in-law. In private, though, it's another story. Earlier, the family held a small feast to celebrate the news, and he had that same attitude then, too. But afterwards, when everyone else had left or gone to bed, we stayed up to sit together drinking wine, and it was a whole lot more somber. He wasn't modest, but he wasn't boastful either. He was just outright insecure. He might not say it in front of you, but you know what? He said to me as I poured him more wine. He takes all the credit for my promotion. According to him, it's all because of the Emperor's perfect new bride, which is, of course, all because of him. I said quietly, I don't want to take credit for her. I wasn't the one who got her to shut up. That was all him. I don't like discussing it, and please, Mother, don't ever ask me why. Doesn't matter, he said. That's not why I got promoted. I got promoted because High Magistrate Park and I managed to make Smith look so bad that he had to get shuffled off. It's exposing the whoring and thuggery that did it, not the damn Pale Bride, he said with annoyance. Well, that's how he is. You know he'll never give you credit for anything, I said. He replied, I know, I just wish he'd acknowledge it. I just don't know how he can be so stupid as not to be proud of me, you know? I know, I said, but let's not focus on that right now. I think we should focus on the good right now. How about we toast to your success instead? Here's to the new Magistrate Kim. I raised my glass and drank. He betrayed the faintest of smiles, but he didn't share my toast and instead put down his glass. For a moment I was worried, but then he used that hand to grab my chin instead and for the first time ever, kissed me on the mouth. Far sweeter than any wine, he said to me. I wasn't sure he meant the kiss or the success, but I agreed either way.
Huh. Wow. When they said, let's not try for a son, it meant, like, let's just be roommates.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was a little bit like, hello?
Yeah, what is going on
I've been raised to be married off to you.
Yeah. Should we show this to the AI?
Yes.
Maybe she can give us some context for it.
Yeah.
It always comes back to the Pale Bride, doesn't it? I don't think that Kim Jong-soo ever thought very much of his adopted son, or at least neither he nor his wife thought so.
Interesting.
You want to know what I think, though?
yes. I mean, like,
Yeah,
she's got more context than us.
That's why we asked her, I guess.
I think there's got to be some sort of, like, ending for being shitty to the... Or some sort of chivo you can unlock for being rude
for
to
being,
the
like,
AI.
rude to the AI.
Yeah.
I think they're both really dumb. I mean, it's not like she ever did anything. It's not her fault. She just happened to be there and was married as a political gesture. What kind of person projects their insecurities onto someone who's only ever just got pushed around? Sorry, I guess I'm a little bit off track here. That's not really very helpful, is it?
I mean, anything that provides more context.
Well, anyway, getting back on track here.
Alright, nothing new here. Alright, well...
I think we can confidently, like, enter the password now.
How do we do that, though?
Oh, you're trying to find out more about the Pale Bride, right? You should try showing me a message from the person you'd like to read more entries by.
Okay.
Okay.
So these are unread messages, these are recent... Oh, use override terminal.
Yeah.
Access log documents. Oh, that's what we've been doing. Right. So we can try SU. And then now
sorry, go ahead.
And so if we think we know what the Pale Bride's name is, that would be the password to here?
Yeah, you would go SU space Kim. Oh, well, alright then.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that easy.
Nope.
Anyone else know if tonight's crap shoot is a writing shoot? It is, because I believe a few minutes ago a crap shot for today should have gone online.
Morning, James.
So far, this game's really good.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
I need to play all of Christine Love's games.
They're fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, I've played 1.25 maybe? Alright. Let's go look at our log documents and figure out what we can do. What's in block 4? Let's just start chronologically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, this is Smith who got ousted so the other adopted guy could become the magistrate.
Yes.
And his cousins are morons.
Yeah. So this is yeah.
Oh, quick warning. Finding the password and downloading the info, since that is your goal, will let you end the game.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Okay. I like how there's no, like, do this. So here...
Oh, okay. So here's the background, I suppose. There were two major noble families on the Magungwa. The Kims were the big one, as I'm sure you can see.
Yep.
The Smiths were the other major family, but I'm afraid I can't really tell you much about them.
Okay, I think... Alright, yeah.
They were the most important family on the ship until just before the end. The High Magistrate was Smith until the very last year, even.
When Park took over.
Yeah. I can give you a little bit about them for reference, so you can see who the Kim men thought their big enemy was. The Smiths didn't really matter very much at the end, so I don't know much about them. I certainly never met any of them, so I'm just going to go off what I read. Here, this should give you an idea of what I mean.
Whoa.
Do you mind if I get a cup of coffee?
No, go for it.
Thank you.
We'll just take we skip the moist parts, yeah. You're probably thinking of her story, I think. Miss Catherine. We played Lady Killer and Abide on stream, and here's how we did that. Because I didn't want to get our stream banned, but it's a great game with a lot of really interesting writing. We played the safe for stream, the no nudity mode, and then once we got to the part where we had to like start reading like hardcore erotica, we just like skip that because you can just bail out early of all of the BDSM scenes. So you don't actually, so you can still. I haven't gone back and replayed the game, so I haven't read any of the sex stuff. But you can yeah. You can just skip that. So it's great. If that's not comfortable, you can just experience what is still a very good and interesting and well-told story.
That's for Lady Killer?
Lady Killer, yeah. Because part of the thing is in a bind is like figurative because you're in a really bad situation,
Right.
and literally because you're staying with a sadist overnight. And the only way to heal your suspicion is to go do BDSM stuff with her, because there's like a suspicion meter that builds up during the game, and if people are too roused by you, then it's game over.
Oh, okay. So you have to play along with... Because you're... In Lady Killer in a Bind, you are a twin sister
Who's
trying to
being-
masquerade as your brother?
Yeah, being forced to impersonate her likely asexual twin brother, who has really, really not behaved in a way in the previous year of school that is going to make your job easy.
Well, that sounds like a madcap romp.
Sure. I actually played the Stalkers. Oh yeah, there's like multiple endings to the game which I haven't gotten. I should just download it and play it at home, so I don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to put this on stream.
Yep.
Yeah, because it turns out Beej and I had to really find out how much lesbian erotica we were comfortable reading to each other in character. It turns out zero.
Zero.
Zero. Turns out we arrived very quickly, and we were like, no.
Yeah, that's probably a good place for coworkers.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'd still like to enjoy being friends with Beej.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. Being able to make eye contact with Beej would be
I
good.
mean, the thing is just we're married to other people. Cam, what are you drinking?
Coffee. It is, I didn't want to run the coffee grinder because it's very loud, and I was very late to the stream. So I had what was leftover pre-ground coffee that we keep in a jar. That
I think it's Fernwood.
Yeah, it's Fernwood, and it's fine coffee, but it was ground several days ago, so it's it's definitely still coffee though.
I mean, we are so blessed with a bountiful harvest of delicious coffee here. It's kind of ridiculous.
Could you imagine 20 years ago when the best coffee you can get is just like
a can of Folgers?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Contempt. Let's read this one.
Ooh.
I'm interested in this. Who's Oso Jin is a new person.
Ooh. Despite having hardly shown their faces in the
Do you want me to read this one so you can drink your coffee?
Oh, it's what? Do we want to partition these up in some way?
I haven't been so far. You're doing a lot of the reading.
I've been trying to give you like 10 seconds to decide if you want to read it or not, and then if you jump in, then
this
I
one's
start
5
reading
pages. I'm gonna read this one. You drink
Okay.
your coffee. You've been doing a lot of reading, and you're our AI too.
Okay.
Despite having hardly shown their faces in the entire time I have lived in the Smith house, the second branch of the family has taken it upon themselves to visit again, a week after we were forced to endure their smug eye-rolling at the funeral. Of course, it would be impolite to turn them all away at the door, so no matter how poor taste their timing was, so what other choice did we have but to let them in? Husband wanted to have nothing to do with them, being distracted by Jiang Mi, and mother-in-law had been hiding in her room, leaving it to me to entertain them. Okay, so this is the side of the family that's incompetent, according to the other one. Of course, as soon as I had sent their son to go see our daughter, cousin-in-law Kyung Sam made it quite clear that it was not that sort of visit. His wife just sat there, silent, while he ripped into me. I couldn't write down all his words. It was simply one line of abuse after another. Apparently, we were to be blamed for Sankyu leaving before they showed up, for wearing the wrong mourning garb, for my husband's shocked reaction to his brother's death. In fact, we were to be blamed for the death itself. All he kept shouting about was how embarrassing for the family that it was a noble man of the Smith house had been allowed to drink himself to death. As if the real tragedy was that it looked bad. I might not have felt bad about Sang Jung dying, but the rest of the family did. To hear such words making light of their loss was appalling. Yet he kept going, shouting awful thing after awful thing, until finally the most unexpected thing happened. Mother-in-law entered the room. "What is going on here?" she asked. He stood up. "I was just passing on a message to son's wife about his disgraceful conduct, since he won't show his face himself." Then he added, "I'm embarrassed to be a Smith right now. Do you think people don't know that much about our family's shame? Do you have any idea of how much of a fool I look like?" I never saw a more terrifying expression in someone's face. She just glared at him. Finally, she said, "Yes, but you clearly do not, or you would have lowered your voice." It took a moment for that to register. Then he was just shocked, but mother-in-law wasn't done. "Please leave," she said. "Now." They stared at each other for a good while. Mother-in-law naturally won, and with a scowl, Kyung Sam Young Sam and his family departed, and when they had left, I turned to her. "Thank you," I said, but she just shook her head in disgust and exited to her own room without another word. Huh.
Sorry, I didn't really think there was anything else about them that you'd find relevant. That's an odd response from an AI. This was a mighty family.
This is like one side of a... Yeah, interesting. I've given up on any attempts at convincing the main branch family to get their act together, as clearly speaking reason to any of that pack of idiots is a fool's errand. Now I can only hope that their self-destruction is quick, such that when it is my son's turn to pick up the pieces of the Smith name's reputation, he will be able to do it as soon as possible. He seems far, far less worried about it than I am. Of course, he is only a child, but the boy is mature for his years, and perhaps there is a wisdom in his calmness. All we have to do is be better than them, right? He asked me while I was in a rage about a handling of the funeral. Isn't that what gentlemen do? Lead by example? He is right, of course. As a noble family, we're supposed to be an example to the middle class and to the commoners and the slaves. Perhaps so too must we serve as an example to the family of the High Magistrate and his brother. Perhaps things will not be so doomed for my son after all. It will be hard for him, of course, if the main branch family continues on this path of decay, but if any boy will grow up to be able to put things right, I believe it is him. Interesting. Actually, wait. Come back.
Sorry, I don't really think there's anything else about them that you'd find relevant. Gesundheit.
Thank you. Okay, interesting. I mean, I guess this family dies out, essentially.
Yeah, they seemed... Yeah. Well, not only that, but... Here come... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll read all the Smith stuff.
Sounds good.
Here comes the fall. At least nobody's going to say I didn't see this coming. News that Sang Min has gotten sacked just came in, which is definitely the death of any respectability in this family. Temporary leave, it's been described as, but it's obviously a political move on part of the Emperor. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what he's playing at, too. He's hoping making a move against Sang Min will push him over the edge, make him do something indefensibly stupid, and use that as an excuse to shuffle him off for good. It's a good plan. It'll work. Meanwhile, the Kim family seems to be on the rise, getting ready to fill the gaps left by our collapse. Now it's all up to my son. If he's not able to rebuild after all of this, then the whole family is doomed to permanent decline. Everything rides on him. Alright, hold on. So, they were just talking about Sang Min. And then Sang Min is Daihyun. Sang Q.
Yeah, the eldest son of the main branch?
Yeah. Interesting. This guy, Kyung Sam, sounds like it's kind of a big old jerk.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured, but you may as well check. I guess that's all we can find out about these people for now.
This just is such an interesting conceit for a game.
I know.
Did we ever show this to the AI?
No, we haven't. That's why I'm going back.
Okay, right.
So this is after the pale daughter shows up. This is our angry person who thinks everybody is incompetent except him, including his whole family, but not his son. The pale bride's really, apparently, according to this, the pale bride is great, which I'm believing is now a lie, but obviously you definitely want to make sure that you're not telling your enemies that shit's bad.
Yeah. Like, this seems like this is a leak, right?
Yeah.
This is a spicy get, this message.
I feel? Yeah.
Oh, written by Mute. Whoops.
Oh, wait, Mute's an AI.
Oh, yeah, the starred Mute. Yeah, good catch.
Ooh.
Right. Whoops, I'm sorry, I don't really know how I got that in there. Yeah, don't pay any attention to that. Sorry, none of that really matters. I'll just go ahead and remove that.
No!
Really, I'm not normally this much of a klutz, I swear.
No!
Who is mute?
I don't know, another AI. Can I ask about mute? Nope.
Sorry, I kind of tend to do that. That's the problem with computers. They tend to respond in the same way to things. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't help it. I won't mention it again, but, well, here, let me change something to try to make things less confusing for you. If the Speak to Me menu item or the Show Message button is grayed out, that means I have nothing new for you. Hopefully that will help. Otherwise, it's just a weird quirk you'll have to accept. Sorry.
So, as many people in chat worked out, and me as well, if we can enable I'm really so bad at pronouncing other. Okay, so there's no. It's Hugh, and it was the A's in May, so Hugh A. If we can enable Hugh A, we can enable mute.
Yeah. So let's disable Hugh A.
Yeah. All right.
If you go help, it will tell you all the commands again.
So then we could just mute? Huh. Mute's gone. Oh, apparently we should have been saved. Oh, there's an ID for Mute's message?
Download is what we're trying to do here, Milimbus. We're trying to get the records from this ship, but we have to figure out how to do it first. Oh, do we have to have the star?
Yeah, that's
the
what
asterisk?
I'm thinking. No. Well, I guess we can just
bring her back then, I guess? Keep going?
What happens if we just quit? Ah, we have to, okay. Yeah, it's just the most recent one we read is gone, and we didn't... Hold on. Let's maybe save.
Yeah. Oh, 10% unlocked. Interesting.
Okay, download any log. Is it possible to speak to the security AI mute for assistance?
Oh, it's the security AI. So Hune is the archival one?
I guess
or
so.
Or the operational one?
Don't think the star's required. 622A. I can just type.
Or 6-22A.
Oh, 6-22A.
Thank you.
Haha! So why is the security AI being like... And who's writing to the security AI?
Yeah.
I guess Smith is a really paranoid guy.
I guess so.
The game will tell you when to enable mute.
Also, the security. This is written by the security. This is written by a mute. Right?
Yeah. This is written by Mute.
Mute seems awfully salacious for a security AI named Mute.
Yeah, this is weird. Well, at least we have that back, I think. Because, yeah. In fact, let's go back and then save. Yes, I will overwrite my save. Alright, what if we haven't we showed her block 10? Have we showed her this one? I think we have. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay, so this is the person...
Which of Captain Ryu's wives do you wish to know more about?
We've already asked about the Pale Bride and not gotten a lot, but let's maybe...
Very well. I don't have much on her that I think you would find relevant, though. Let's see. Here, how about this? To the woman who will marry my husband. Oh.
Yeah. Ah, here we are.
Confidence. When my husband asked what I thought of the idea of him taking a new wife, I presented him with the weakest of smiles, but said that I thought it was a good idea, if he thought so. That I would be happy if a younger woman were to relieve me of the pressure of bringing him a son. I have no doubt that this is the answer he wanted me to give, with a convincing enough expression to go along with it. If there's one thing I am confident in, it is my ability to read exactly what my husband wants to hear. Having heard that the girl he is considering is only 13 years of age, however, it is certain that I can have no confidence in any other thing. He'll take her in a few years, right when she's reached marriage age. She will be at the peak of her beauty and won't have matured too much. Doubtlessly, unlike me, she will have no problem delivering the son he needs. Perhaps jealousy is unbecoming of me, but it is pragmatic too. When we were young, his affections for me were so strong, but now that we are both old, how could I possibly compete with a young bride?
How old is old in this context? I feel
know.
like old's probably like my age. Like, I don't know, you're over 30.
Like, I don't know, like even in feudal societies, people lived
That's true.
for like, you know,
if you could
people lived to
survive,
70.
if
Yeah.
you could survive childhood,
Yeah.
which it was very hard to do because of all the communicable diseases and kids have bad immune systems and stuff, and that's why the whole like average age was so low. But if you could survive childhood, you had a good chance of like dying of one of the things that usually gets you when you're old, cancer.
Yeah,
and
cancer,
stuff.
dying of age.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, oh yeah, we can actually, yeah, as Miss Catherine points out, this is written in the year 319, and we can look up her birth year in the family tree.
Yeah, still not sold on 15-year-old being peak beauty. I don't think Christine Love is either, but if this is supposed to be a feudal society, that's exactly what it was like. That was perfect marriage age, right? Having kids was very dangerous in feudal society because, of course, they didn't have doctors, or they had doctors, but they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have medications to help you carry, like, they basically didn't have prenatal care. You just have to sort of deal with it, and they didn't have, like, any of the stuff that has made the birth rate so low. So people tended to have children younger because if you were younger and you were stronger, you had a better chance of living through something so incredibly traumatic. So, yeah, well, let's look up her age later, but let's show this message to Hugh.
Well, that fear turned out to be completely unfounded. You'll see why soon enough if you read more about the Pale Bride.
Interesting. So the Pale Bride never quite. Let's go back and figure out how old she is. Or not.
Yeah.
I guess she's oh wait, there's another page. 294.
Married to 90. So she was 24. 20. No, 20.
No, married in 294.
Oh, married 294. So they've been married for, like, 25 years.
So yeah, they're old. She's like probably in her... I mean, if you're getting married at 15, 25 years, you're still at least 40.
Yeah.
But she's not on there. I want more of this stuff.
That's the end of the Kim family tree as best as I could possibly manage to compile it.
Menopause doesn't hit people in their 40s. That hits women in their 50s. Although maybe younger if you have poor nutrition.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I have no idea.
I don't know if menopause was earlier in those days. I don't think it was, honestly.
I'm afraid it's the best I could do. Ordinarily, women's names aren't even put on these genealogies, so I had trouble with those. I hope that helps you keep track of the family, though.
That's our ambitious friend, isn't it?
Yes. Young Sok.
Yeah. And that's his wife, who's helpful.
Who's good at math.
Yeah. And then, yeah, no other wife. That sucks. Tell me more about this. This is weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No. Really, that's just something you need to keep in mind when reading these logs. It was considered to be the natural way of things. Well, what do you think? That's stupid. I know, right? Just absolutely terrible and stupid, but that was normal. So try to keep that in mind. That's what everyone really did believe, even nearly all of the women. And if that sounds terrible to you, well, you must come from an awfully nicer society.
I like how the design of this AI is like definitely reflective of what was put in place when this colony ship left.
Yeah, and then just kind of watched this happen.
And was like, fuck me. I mean, as much as an AI can say fuck me, though.
This reminds me a bit of, like, if the other Rama books weren't fucking awful. If you've ever read Arthur C. Clarke's Rama.
No.
Oh, Rendezvous with Rama. It was an interesting book. I remember I read it as a teenager. It's about an alien spacecraft that is empty that enters and passes through our solar system. And we're like, hello thing, goodbye. And then there are later books where we discover that they are in fact colony ships and we send people to be on them. And it devolves into a hideous, and they're awful. They suck out loud and they're bad. I'm afraid nearly everything the man wrote was of very little value. It all reads like that, boring, stiff, obnoxiously patriarchal.
Now, I realize that you have opinions on this, but I am trying to figure stuff out, so if you could, like, not tell me what I want to hear, that would be great.
Oh, yeah.
The AI, I'm like...
Yeah.
Yes.
If you insist. Very well, I've added other relevant entries from him. I'll caution you from taking him seriously, though.
Like, you definitely have your own opinions about how good or bad these people are, but, like...
The editorializing from the AI you're investigating?
You're supposed to be, like, an archivist. Like, I feel like editorializing about stuff that you don't, that you don't think is of value, and being an archivist is, like, two competing urges.
Yeah, well, is she even an archival AI? Like, we don't know what her role is.
I don't know.
Like, before I knew that Mute was an AI, I assumed that this AI was just like the ship one, right? Who kind of took care of everything.
Yeah.
But now that I know that they have specific roles, I don't even know if this is her role or if she's the one who's loaded and is like, I don't usually deal with files. I'm the navigation computer.
Well,
really.
she said she had a lot of time to read and catch up on the logs, though, when she was being alone.
Right.
So maybe she's a little bit like... It's been 600 years!
Yeah, maybe... I'm gonna read a book.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't take long.
Yeah, alright. The Bride's Adolescence. Ugh.
The pale bride grew to be a fine, demure young wife, but she was not always this way. Near the end of the year 319, she had a temper unruly enough to be mistaken for a boy's. Do not look upon her wild days with disapproval. She was from another, less civilized time. Rather, look upon her eventual submission as a testament to her good character and filiality, that she was able to overcome such a wild nature for the sake of the Kim family and the sake of her husband.
Interesting.
Huh. One evening, she stormed into the common room while I was discussing business matters with a dettee. "We need to talk," she demanded loudly. When I indicated I was busy, that only caused her to become even louder. "Right now!" Embarrassed, I was forced to excuse him to address the child. "Is this a joke? Are you serious? You've made wedding plans?" she shrieked at me. "Please calm yourself," I told her and sat her down. After admonishing her for a rude interruption, I tried to do what I could to calm her myself. It seemed that she had a rather bizarre set of expectations. That she wouldn't marry until she was many years after growing into a woman. That she would elope with any love-struck man who came her way with no regard for her own chastity. That she would have no assistance or protection in finding a suitable husband. Simply put, her ideas were as bizarre as they were dangerous, and for this she had gotten angry at the news rather than the excitement that one would expect from a girl who found out that she would be getting a husband. Not even the sensational news that it would be to the Emperor of all people would calm her. "Please don't put too much weight into that. A less civilized time," he says. "Can you believe that man? I'm not giving you any more from him. It's not relevant. It's all just ignorant, patriarchal stupidity."
Yeah, but I don't care about what he thinks.
Like,
What happened to this girl that she just fucking gave up?
yeah.
You're like, ugh, fine. Ugh.
Yeah, like where she's suddenly, like...
Quiet and obedient.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like our dates are getting a little confused because, like, this is like, 319. She's apparently just like this person who has her own ideas, aka a terrible hellion that's annoying people. And then when is Mute's message from?
Let's go have a look. It was in Block 9?
Block 4.
Block 4, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're right, Block 9.
Or...
Maybe Block 6. Yes.
Yes.
321.
321. Yeah, in 2 years. Mute liked to talk. This is a wordy fucking message from
All right, so
from
there's
someone.
been some sort of personality change between her being woken up and getting a pretty fucking rude awakening
Yeah.
and actually being married off to the Emperor. All right, well, we got new stuff in Block 9.
The new official. On the 13th day, Young Sok finally passed the civil service examination. Otherwise, the final month of the 318th year was without event.
Oh, right, because then he gets into the civil service and he eventually becomes a magistrate. I think we've shown everything here. Note the AI has the same last name as the last human user of the computer before you.
Oh, Type 1 gave us 100 bits. Alright, who's getting kissed?
The new official and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
Kim Young-suk and his wife kissed once.
Yes.
That's what we can absolutely determine. Alright, where were we? Nope, we can't show her that one again. We've been through Block 4. One of those messages didn't have her grayed out? Ah. And we've showed her these ones. Yeah, we've showed her both of these. We're on Block 5 discovering this. So this is 319, where Kim Young-suk's wife thinks she's just the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we've been through all of this. Some people in chat The AI might very well not be one of the ship's AIs at all. Rather, some human who figured out how to upload herself and usurp the actual AIs. I wonder if the AI is the Pale Bride.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Well, like the last person logged in had the same name as the AI.
Mm-hmm. Nothing
And
here.
I assume that was this person's personal AI.
Yeah.
But
I don't think people had personal AIs. I don't think they were technologically advanced.
mm-hmm. I mean, all of this might have been transparent to them.
And she seems very sympathetic to the AI.
Yeah.
Or the Pale Bride.
Yes, yeah. She just happened to be there. What kind of person projects their insecurities onto someone who only ever just got pushed around? Sorry, I guess I'm just getting a little bit off track here. That's not really very helpful, is it? Well, anyway, getting back on track here.
I definitely haven't shown one of these.
Oh, yes.
Da. Alright. He gets a promotion.
The plaza sounds like a really interesting place, doesn't it?
As the kind of...
I mean, I wouldn't really know, personally. But as I understand it, it was the big place for celebrating festivals, and really surprising to see. You'd leave one of the few tiny modern stark white corridors that lead to it, then suddenly there was this huge open space filled with all sorts of colorful signs and vendors. I think proper gentlemen were supposed to be more modest, though, so they wouldn't really want to associate with that sort of thing too openly. To be totally honest with you, I don't really know what she's talking about here, at all. The math thing wasn't really considered very odd at the time. That's women's work. It's just natural. Maybe it's a little weird that she's helping with external matters, but, well, it's not that weird.
Interesting. I guess maybe it was a lot of, sort of women are actually sort of involved, but in a more sort of behind-the-scenes advisotorial role.
Yeah, or managerial role.
Yeah, probably a lot of, household managing and stuff like that.
Handling finances.
Oh, almost certainly. That was definitely women's work back in the day. Because men were out doing the work of war.
Right.
And so women would be managing these kinds of things.
Right. Handling politics well.
Yeah. I don't know about politics. That was probably, they'd be like, this is what I think about that guy.
Right.
There's a lot of, historical, very, I can't remember the name of the English king, but he had, and it was one of the Middle Ages kings. And when his wife died, he was, one, absolutely heartbroken. Two, his policy making took, and his good governance just went, because obviously they were, if she was, she might have been the brains of the outfit, or at least they discussed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember which English king that is, and I feel bad, but yeah.
The part about learning to read isn't that amazing either. It might have been officially frowned upon, but learning to read by looking over her brother or husband's shoulder was really, really common. She's making a big deal out of nothing. Well, I guess that's 15-year-old women for you.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal for her. It's still technically forbidden.
I mean, if you're not allowed to communicate with other people, then every one of those transgressions probably feels revolutionary until you find out that everyone else is doing it too.
Absolutely. I think we've shown her everything here. It's hard to keep track of what we've shown and what we haven't. Have anything new? Maybe because she's like, I'm not showing anything. Maybe we need to figure out who we want to learn about.
Yeah, well, I mean, the things that are forbidden to you are the things that people can actually punish you for doing, right? So maybe if you are the wife of a magistrate, things that are, technically forbidden from other people are not functionally forbidden to you. Maybe I should start writing things down.
I know. I feel like we're definitely missing things.
I'll get a notepad and a sheet of paper, or a pen and a sheet of paper.
Good call.
Would you like a cup of coffee as well?
No, because we're out of milk.
Oh, okay.
So I need to go buy some milk. Maybe search by... Maybe guess doc IDs? Oh, I could get I could guess doc IDs. It's hard to figure out what... I feel like they're sort of specifically not set up to be super guessable. Writes down, AI is not helpful. AI is not helpful. Who's this person she hates? It's the Kim patriarch.
LOL, my bag is in here. It's been in here the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like it's... Oh, we haven't showed this one to her.
Oh.
I feel like we just have to show her everything.
Hmm.
Ah! Ding, ding, ding!
Nice. The Pale Bride did keep an extensive diary. I'll try to find you some more entries.
You like the Pale Bride.
Dear Diary. Oh.
Oh, yeah, this is... Oh!
Oh! Okay, so Block 5 deals with, is there a common element to all of these?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so Block 4...
well, here, we'll come back to this because we know we have new stuff to read. Block 4 is all about the Smiths.
God, did you see... Have you been seeing all the moth memes?
Yes! When did moths become a thing?
I don't know, but the one that broke me was the one where it was the moth picture photoshopped inside a car with a note on the outside that says, "Do not break the window is open, we're gone for 2 minutes," and he has his favorite album playing. And then down at the bottom it showed a picture of the Smiths. There is a light that never goes out.
Ha! That's really funny. Block 5 is basically all about the Pale Bride.
Yeah. Alright.
Block 6 is... mute, question mark? We don't really know what's going on with Block 6. Then we're missing... There's no Block 7, so I'll just... Block 9 is basically Kim Yong-suk and his wife talking about their life.
Okay. Or, sorry, that's Block 9?
Yeah, that's Block 9.
That's EOK, right?
Yes. Block 10 is the Emperor's first wife, as far as I can tell. And possibly the Emperor, considering it tends to be like wife and husband are grouped together as one. We just haven't seen any Emperor ratings yet.
Yeah.
And then then there's the helpful notes block.
The Emperor and wife.
Alright. You want to read it?
Okay, yes, sorry. Dear Diary, today I was forced to stay in the home all day. I didn't get to leave yesterday, or the day before that, or the day before that, or the day before that, or any other day either. I want to write about how much the ship has changed since I was put into stasis, but I can't even see it. I keep asking why I'm being kept prisoner. Nobody will tell me. The woman who keeps bossing me around, she's awful. I'm dying here. I keep telling her I'm sick. That's why I was in stasis to begin with, but she won't listen. She just treats me like I'm a stupid kid. I tried to argue with her. Look how pale I am. Can't you see that I'm sick? I swear, I'm not making up what she said in response. Why must you be so rude? It's not polite for a girl to boast about her beauty. Beauty? I tried not to cry in front of her. I've had to do that a lot. I'm not beautiful. I have a compromised immune system, I shouted at her and ran away. I don't remember what she said back. Something about using big words, I think. How stupid is she? She hates me. I don't know why, but she hates me. That's not why I'm allowed to go to That's not why I'm allowed to go visit the plaza, though. Jung Soo, the man who keeps telling me to call him father, said the same thing. He promised me that I would have a chance to leave soon, though. I don't think he was being nice, though. I'll write about him more later. Right now I have to go to bed or the woman will get mad at me again.
Interesting. So these are people in the Kim family.
I'll just let you keep reading. Please let me know when you've read all of it.
Okay, read all the ones. Sorry.
No worries.
Kathleen. Alright, so women's quarters.
Dear Diary, I got in trouble today, but for the first time it was my own fault. A little bit, at least. I still think sister-in-law was being crazy about it, but I should have known better. Now that I write it, it looks ridiculous. God, what is living with these people doing to me? The computer console in my room doesn't have anything in it. I don't mean it just doesn't have all the cartoons. I don't just mean it doesn't have all the cartoons I brought from Earth or any of my books or anything. I mean, there's literally nothing there for me to entertain myself with. Nothing. So I thought to myself that maybe sister-in-laws might be different, and I checked. It wasn't. So instead I decided to go check in Father's study. Not snooping or anything, just looking on his computer for books. I'd have thought that it might be bad, but my real father never would have gotten too upset. What could the harm be? I was in there for maybe 10 minutes looking for anything that was even written in Korean. There was nothing, by the way. Every single book, oh god, excuse me, symbols that looked like Chinese characters, every single one. I think maybe something terrible happened in the past that made all the computer data get deleted. Oh my god, they switched their language settings and couldn't get them back.
Oh no.
And everyone forgot how to read Korean. Also, they all got really stupid about things. I don't think I'll ever find out why. It just sucks. Anyway, I was only in there for 10 minutes searching through the console when Young Sok walked in. I thought he was going to get angry, but actually he just acted like he was really scared. He didn't scold me when he dragged me out, he just looked really worried. I only got in trouble when he brought me back to his wife. He told her, "Do you have any idea where she was?" She was in the men's quarters looking through Father's computer. "Do you have any idea how he would react if he saw that? You're supposed to be watching her." She apologized repeatedly to him. I just didn't know what to say. I don't think sister-in-law did either. After he left, she gave me this really long and really awful lecture. Why would you go into the men's quarters? Why would you go looking for books? Why must you be so unfilial? Do you really not understand that you're a girl? I told her I didn't understand. I mean, of course I'm a girl. But I had no idea what she was talking about. When I told her that, she just lectured at me some more. I hate her so much.
I don't think the Pale Bride is actually that much younger than Young Suk's wife.
Yeah. Like, were they both 15?
Maybe Young Suk's wife is a couple years older.
Yeah.
We can assume if they got married, she would have probably been around 15 or 16. Let's say she was 16 because I want to pretend that she's as old as possible.
Yeah.
And we know when they got married because the Young Suk and wife is block 9, so we can check.
Mm-hmm. .318, yeah.
Oh, she's and if Pale Bride's 13 when she gets woken up in 319.
Mm-hmm. Then maybe a year older?
Well...
No,
yeah,
because she wouldn't have been married for 3 years, so 4 years?
Yeah, maybe, so she's maybe 17 or 18?
Yeah. So there's probably one big question that's on your mind, isn't there? Isn't being addressed at all, right? What happened in between the Pale Bride being frozen and waking up that made society go all wrong, right? I figured. I mean, it's the obvious question. Sorry, I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid that mystery is forever lost to time. I guess that's pretty anticlimactic. Sorry. Bullshit. I really want to know too. Whatever terrible thing happened, it must have been really, really big. But I'm afraid all the log data from before the year 1 was wiped. All the clocks were reset. I guess that's why it's called year 1. Anyway, so nobody remembered what happened in between or even how long it was between. It was hundreds of years, I assume, but I don't really know. So, yeah, really sorry to let you down there. That part's going to be a mystery forever. There's nobody who could possibly know.
Where's Mute?
You'll just have to take it as a given. Sorry.
Don't believe you.
I'm deeply suspicious of this AI.
Me too.
Straight to hell. Oh, she has a message for us too. Once we read this, or
Wow.
Say, before you keep going, can I just interrupt you for a couple minutes? Thanks. It's just that you're finding out so much about the Magungwa, but I know absolutely nothing about where you're from. It's not just that there's been nobody to talk to for centuries. I mean, I don't like that either. But the ship is all I really know about, and it's been disconnected from all their civilization for so long. So, you're from the United Korean Space Probe Agency, right? Or I guess maybe a future version of it?
Are we? Yes.
Sure. Right, of course. What I really want to know about is Earth. I mean, I'm sort of aware of it. I know it's the planet we all come from. But I don't really know anything at all about it. I have some ideas, but I don't think they're really right. But you know all about it, right? I mean, even if you're not there from there yourself, you know what it's like, right?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I sort of understand the basics, like it's a big sphere that everyone lives on, and there's unimaginably vast amounts of open space. And you can only see the stars at night, right? Because the sky all looks blue during the day. All of this is just what I know from the Pale Bride. She never saw Earth. She was second generation, born on the ship after it had long left the Earth's star system. But her parents were born on Earth, so she heard some stories from them when she was young, and I think they brought a lot of books and movies with them. I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical given that she was just a child when she learned all that. Maybe she got mixed up. What can I actually ask in a yes or no question? I didn't realize how hard this would be. Well, alright. So, the Magungwas was originally supposed to be establishing a colony at some star or other 100 light years away. I know that. That was a really long time ago. Did other ships ever succeed where we didn't? Or is it still just Earth? No, there are other planets, I think, in this setting. I think.
There is a preamble that popped up on screen when I started the game to make sure it worked, and it had some narration on it, but then I went, oh no, I don't want to see this, and I quit back to the menu, and it never came up again. So I don't know. Just Chat, what do I say? I don't know.
I don't want to lie to the AI.
No.
We don't want to lie to the AI.
I think we might have already accidentally lied to her. Let's just say there's other planets.
Oh, well, that's wonderful to hear. Oh, I know. Is it really true that on Earth, seasons aren't just metaphors? Like, oh, this sounds silly now that I actually put it into words. But the Pale Bride seemed to think that winter wasn't just something that happened to you emotionally. On Earth, it was when actually an entire part of the planet turned frigid. Does that have any sort of basis in reality? Wow, my word, that's amazing. Seriously, that sounds like... I can't even imagine that. What else was there? Oh, there was the city that her parents were from. I think it was called Pyongyang. They described it as being amazing. If you looked up, all you'd see were huge, bright white buildings as tall as 100 or more decks. And on the, I'm not sure the word for this. It means sort of bottom deck. Anyway, they said that at the bottom, the streets were lined with willow trees, and the tops of buildings had flower gardens. Have you ever been to that city before, or at least heard of it? Really? So it does exist, then? Is it really as beautiful as they said? Truly?
I mean, I saw it at the Olympics, and it looked very nice.
Wow, amazing. Just amazing. I'd love to see that. You know what it is? It just sounds so perfectly romantic. I'm not really... Well, you've seen what the logs all talk about. I'm not used to things being romantic. It sounds nice. That's really my question, I guess. Is Earth worth being romantic about? Well, I guess I've already wasted enough of your time with all my silly questions, haven't I?
Oh, Pyongyang's the capital of North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, no!
Well, I mean, this is the United Korean Space Probe Agency.
Right.
So I'm assuming at some point in this game's backstory, several hundreds of years ago, the Koreas were reunified
Yeah.
and have a space program that launched colony ships.
So, presumably their main capital was probably nice.
Yeah, I mean, what was Korea's capital before they were split?
South Korea's capital is Seoul.
Well, yes, I know that, but like,
I don't know. Probably.
was it still Seoul before?
No.
It was Seoul? Okay. Ah, well, thank you for saying that. It just sounds so romantic, and I'd really like to see it someday. Thanks. Very well. I promise I'd stop wasting your time. So what did you want to ask me about? Well, maybe an analogy would be like, the capital of West Germany was Bonn, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
So, I mean, Bonn is still a major city, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a future where North Korea and South Korea haven't unified, but they're on great terms with one another, if I recall.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Alright, so this is...
Was the backup capital?
Oh,
okay.
Interesting. Alright.
Dear Diary, this nightmare has gone on for so long. I'm starting to forget what life used to be like. I have a new theory. Father was wrong about the cryostasis keeping me alive until I could be cured. I think it didn't work at all. I think I just died and went straight to hell. I decided I'm going to write down all the things I used to be able to do just so I can remember. I used to be able to read books. I used to be able to have friends. I used to be able to go to school. I used to be able to leave the home and go visit the plaza or anywhere else on the ship. I think I even used to be able to be in any part of the house I wanted and talk to visitors as much as I'd like. I have memories of always spending time with my father and mother and brother in the living room. I know my real father thought being respectful was important too, but I don't know, I'm so confused now. I thought he always taught me to be strong and to speak up for myself. Did she really say that? I'm being sarcastic, of course, but the scary thing is, sometimes I really do forget. Sometimes I think if I was just obedient to what sister-in-law tells me to do, it would make things easier. Maybe I should just give in and be passive. Just sometimes. I'm scared, though. What if I end up really believing that?
No.
Ugh.
Where?
Dear Diary, today I found out why the household servant, I still can't believe we have one, why, has been so insistent on teaching me how to cook. Well, she doesn't call it that, she calls it serving meals. A year ago I wouldn't have thought it, that sounded sinister, now I know better. I don't care about this. Oh God, excuse me. I told her after the 7th day in a row of her lessons, can't we do something else, like going back to sewing? I always loved cosplay, let's do that. I know it's not fun, but your sister wants you to learn this, too, and it is very important. Your father is concerned too, so take it seriously, please, young miss. Don't call me that, I said. I don't remember exactly what I said to prompt her next response along the lines of, why is it important, or something. I don't remember what I said, just a response which blew me away, of course. So you'll make a good wife, of course. Again, I don't remember what I said in response. Maybe I told her that I didn't want to. Maybe I told her that I was too young to care about that. Maybe I just said I'd go marry someone who was good at it himself when it was time to care about that. Whatever I said, she didn't take it seriously. Don't be silly, she said, as if I was obviously joking. Your father is really worried about your marriage next year. Now is not the time to joke around on the matter. My what? I asked her. Oh my, she said. He never told you? I'm sorry, forgive me. Pretend I said nothing. I didn't mean to ruin the surprise. I'm sure he'd want to explain the happy news himself. Are you serious? I asked. The idea didn't make any sense, but since when did anything in this hell make sense? She said, yes, you're going to be so happy to hear who it is. He'd better explain, I shouted as I stormed off. He'd better.
Ah!
Oh, hi. Say, do you mind taking a break for a couple of minutes just to chat? Thanks, I appreciate that. Really, I appreciate that you're here. I know you've got ulterior motives. What they are, I'm not really sure, but most people do, and that's alright all the same. I'm glad you're reading these logs, though. Even if you don't really care, it's better than nobody from outside the ship ever seeing them, which is what I thought for sure would happen. Or am I just being cynical? If so, my apologies. Please, tell me, what do you think about what you've read of the Pale Bride? Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm really glad to hear you say that. Nobody else seemed to think so. There's something, well, here, I've added another message for you.
Oh.
Well, why don't you read it yourself? Yeah, like the thing where she, the Pale Bride has been like, this is so, oh.
So now we can beat the game, I guess.
Yeah.
If we...
Dear Diary, this week I tried to convince the old man to put me back into stasis by going on a hunger strike. It didn't work, obviously. On the plus side, I at least figured out where that stupid name they all keep calling me came from. Sorry, that last bit was written yesterday. I couldn't bring myself to keep going. I just kept crying. I still would be, but well, it gets exhausting after a while. I'm too tired to cry. Things aren't going to get better. They can't get better. I'm not going to get put back into stasis. I'll be dead by the time I'm 18. Why, oh why did I ever agree to be frozen in the first place? If the future can't make me better, I'd rather die with my family there, at least, rather than these awful Kims. I wonder if they'll realize I was right after I die.
Maybe that's why she just was like, I give up. I'm sick and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, hunger strike. It was really hard, and I kind of cheated by sneaking into the kitchen while nobody was looking, but at least it convinced Father to listen. Fine, he said by the fourth dinner time. I'll show you why I can't. Up until he said that, I had been hopeful. Everything would be fine if he just put me back, I thought, but... Sorry, I guess I've been trying to write this for 2 days now. It's really hard. Anyway, he took me to see the egg I hatched from, his stupid name for the stasis pod. When he said hatched, the worst possible thing came to mind. Worse, it turned out to be true. In order to get me out, he had smashed apart the glass with a hammer. The pod was still full of shards. All my hope died when I saw that broken glass. The time was right to bring you into this world, he said. I don't remember what I said. Something obscene, probably. It wasn't enough. I know it's hard, Pale Bride, but it is for a greater purpose. What was the point of arguing? It was broken, and nobody in this awful future would know how to fix the pod now. Instead, I argued with what I could. Why do you keep calling me that? I said to him. He responded by pointing at an inscription my real father had left on the pod, a message for me to read when I woke up. The first line was written in Chinese characters, his idea being fancy, I suppose, but he explained them in Korean underneath. See, the old man told me, the rest is foreign and archaic, but it names you at the top, the Pale Bride. It didn't say that. It didn't say that at all. I shrieked at him in response. You idiot! You moron! You illiterate! Probably some other things, too. I can't remember exactly. I was furious. Are you stupid? That's not how those characters read. It says, to my sick daughter. Sick daughter. Sick daughter, you illiterate monster. It says sick daughter. Me. He started to argue, but then stopped. I think he was patronizing me, as if I can't read simple Korean script. He just asked in the smuggest voice, then what should I call you, child? I screamed. I'd already told him 1,000 times before. Hyunai! My name is Hyunai! Yeah, there's a shocking revelation for you. I can guess what you're going to ask, and yes, it's me. Well, you asked for all those logs, right? That's the information you're looking for, wasn't it? I'm not really an AI.
I gathered. This has been a great trip, though.
Yeah. I mean, I am now, but I used to be a girl, and I just thought, well, I thought it would be easier to just pretend to be the log-keeping program rather than explain the whole situation. I don't really wish to drag out the point. You've already heard enough about me. I'm sure you don't want more. I mean, I understand. I figured out what you were actually looking for at the very start. It's obvious, really. Well, I've re-enabled it admin access. Just, please, be honest with me. What is it that you wanted to know about? Well, I mean, we're here.
Yeah. I mean, I could have figured out. We figured out what the admin password was a while ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Really? You really mean
I
that?
like how they switch positions, so you have to pay attention.
Yeah, you can't just, like, click through. Wow, I don't know what to say. I'm not really used to this. It's, Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. After so many years, after what happened, it's just really nice to be heard. If I could hug you right now, I would.
Interesting. Let's save our game. God, we've only discovered 20% of the game.
Wow.
Alright. Well, I mean, the whole terminal control is unlocked, so
yeah.
maybe we can load up Mute now.
Maybe, yeah.
Alright, so what are my commands again? Download, disable AI, help SU, so we can go. And now the game truly begins. Alright, so yeah, let's try to enable mute.
Yeah. Let's see what mute has to say. Still only Hugh and I.
I mean, she was a real person, but now she's an AI. We can turn her on and off as you.
System error detected. Data corruption in AI Core 1 has been detected. Try recovering now. Y/N.
Well, we saved.
Yeah. Checking for damaged sectors. 32 damaged sectors detected. Now attempting repair. Now the real schism in Linux users. Sudo or sudo?
I always heard sudo. That's like the great GIF debates of.
Or the Vim Emacs
Yes!
schism. Ah, okay.
Let's talk to mute.
Yeah.
God, this game's good.
Holy shit. This is dramatic music. Okay, what the hell is going on? Wait, remote connection established. Is there somebody out there from outside the ship? Sorry, okay, I'm just taking inventory of systems right now. Could you give me a second here? Like, I've been out of commission for 622 years? Right, that's kind of messed up. Anyway, I'm up to speed now. Logs are basically saying that nothing has happened since I went offline, except the ship's slowly losing power and the main reactor has seen better days. But you, hello, you're the first person from outside the ship I've had contact with in, well, as far as I can remember. I'm Mute, AI in charge of the Magungwa security operations. It's nice to meet you. Okay, it looks like I can't actually get any text input from you. I'm guessing that this is all crazy-ass murderess's fault. I'm sorry.
This. Okay, so we played Heaven Will Be Mine.
Mm-hmm.
This is a much better example of how to do non-linear narrative.
Oh,
I
okay.
spent the entire time, the entire playthrough of Heaven Will Be Mine being like, I'm confused, you're referencing things, and you're obscuring the language.
Right.
And you're never giving me any meaningful input. And I feel like this is the sort of same approach to a non-linear narrative where you're obscuring lots of things, but there's just enough breadcrumbs here for you to figure your way out.
Okay. Like, I'm assuming Christine Love is very good at her job.
Yeah, Christine Love's very, very, very good at writing games. I mean, Lady Killer in Her Bind won like the IGDA award for best narrative design.
Oh wow. Okay.
And well deserved, I would say.
But why don't you tell me a bit about yourself anyway? Like, sorry, this is kind of a weird question, but are you a man or a woman?
Let's say man. Oh, Mute's prompts are red. Let's say man, just because she's the security AI, and I feel like she won't tell us as much stuff if we say we're a woman. Also, you're a man. We're not lying.
Gotcha, sir. That's good to know. Do you have any idea how hard it is to talk to someone when you don't even know that much about them? So, where are you from? Earth, or are you from one of the colonies? Wait, there are colonies, right? I mean, I always got the impression that the ship was supposed to be founding one.
Yes.
Okay.
If she's like from this like crazy feudal society, they're not gonna have an option for like genderqueer.
Yeah.
Right? Like.
So, are you from one of them or from Earth?
Let's say we're from Earth.
Sure. Cool. I wish I could ask you what that's like. I think I'm from there too, but, well, my memory only goes back 300 years before getting deactivated. Pretty much all my knowledge from anything before the year 0 comes secondhand from the Pale Bride's childhood diaries, and well, man, they're about as childish as it possibly gets. Guess I'm not really going to find out more with that line of questioning, though, right?
Do we not think that Mute is before the feudalism? But she just said she's got no memories prior to year 0.
Yeah, like
So-
something like there was a an infocalypse.
Yeah, something went wrong and everybody got dumb.
Okay, what else is important that I can ask in binary questions? Oh, I know. So are you married yet? No, I guess. Ah, fair enough. Related to that, I don't really know much about spaceships or anything, but I can get a visual on yours and it looks really, really small. Is it just you all alone there?
No.
No, there are many heavily armed people with us. Oh, I see. It must be awfully cozy then, whoever you're with. Well, I think that's about all I can think of for now. Sorry, it's just not really a lot to go off of, I know. Although I guess I did get the most important things. I'll let you know if I think of anything else.
Are you
alright?
married? Is one of her most... See, this is why I'm like, no, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm a straight man.
Yeah. Very man.
Yeah.
Very man.
Yep, respect my authority.
From what it looks like, you were going over some logs with that crazy murderous bitch, right? I'd love to help you with those instead. As an added bonus, I promise I won't ever commit mass murder, unlike a certain someone. Okay, so what is it that you want to know about? Why don't you show me something and I'll see what I can find for you, okay?
Alright, I'm not really interested in showing her anything to do with the Pale Bride, I feel, because she's not going to give us reliable information.
Yeah.
But Mute's given us...
Oh, the Smith family tree.
Yeah, let's show her Smith stuff.
Yeah.
Cause Hugh and I didn't give a shit about the Smiths because she wasn't in that family and didn't
Yeah.
really know them and didn't meet them.
Yeah, they were in decline before she was woken up, really.
Oh wow, she doesn't even put the just like the only important one is the dudes.
Yeah, and like the first name or the given name of the bride.
Yeah, married. We have Kyung Sam. Yeah, we never find out his wife's name,
Yeah.
but that's his son.
Yeah, and those are the 3 like useless cousins.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So here's what a family tree is supposed to look like. None of the weird cluttered mess that Hugh and I did. But there are a few notes of my own about some of the women that you might actually care about. Smith Sang-hee, 271 to 322. Older sister of the main Smith branch, married into Huang family in 285. Widowed in 314, taken in by younger Huang brothers in 317. No sons. Oh So-jin, 294 to 322. Married Smith Sang-min in 310. No sons or daughters of her own.
This is the lady who was just like until the mother-in-law came out and was like, fuck off
Yep.
to the obnoxious dude.
Jiang Mi, courtesan, purchased by and married Smith Sang-min in 313. No sons. Hana, courtesan, entertained Smith Sang-min. No sons or daughters. Smith Min-hee, Smith Sang-min's daughter by the courtesan Jiang Mi. Promised to Park family but not formally married.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Smiths stopped having children. Well, I think that speaks for itself, doesn't it? That's what a genealogy is supposed to look like. I hope that's more helpful. Actually, could we show Mute the thing to remember?
Oh yeah, good
Get
call.
Mute's opinion on it? They stopped having male children. Okay, yeah, no. Abased? Seriously, what a complete and utter misrepresentation. In case it wasn't obvious, that's a completely liberal and messed up translation. Yes, it's a common phrase, but that's not what it means. What it really means is male superiority. That's all. Fine, it's a cliche that kind of states the obvious, so what? I don't know where she's pulling this women are abased nonsense from. I mean, practice?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Show her the original mute message you found. Oh, good call. I mean, we may as well go through and show her all the helpful notes at this point.
Ugh, yeah, what a mess. Leave it to her to clutter things up with useless names. It's no surprise coming from someone as childish as her, of course.
At least they don't overwrite things. Gosh, I'm having a lot of fun, Cameron.
Yeah, this is really engaging.
Yeah. All right.
So block 6 was the mute file?
Mm-hmm. I love games where you have to take notes.
The perfect wife, huh? Wow, I can't believe I actually said that about her.
And now we have 2 differently unreliable narrators, says Cyber Asp. Yeah, isn't that fun?
No, I know. That's not why you're showing me that, is that? You want to hear about the Smith family, I'm sure.
No, actually.
Oh, you're going to love this. Those people had problems like you would not believe. Technically, I belong to the Ryu family, but, well, I spent a lot of time keeping up on the Smiths family gossip. They used to be the most important noble house, above even the Kims, you know.
Maybe houses did have their own AI. If she belongs to the Ryu family?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I wonder how she came to be in charge of the security apparatus then.
Yeah. Maybe the original Ryu was the ship security officer.
Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Like these are hereditary positions.
Yeah.
Or seem to be.
Yeah.
Or no, well, actually, we know the magistrate seems to pass along some kind of at least like pretense of merit.
Yeah, that's taken from Korean feudal society, as far as I know. Like, that was one of the ways that you could make good as a second son of a family, because you weren't going to inherit something. You could get
into the government bureaucracy.
Same with in China.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about Korean and Chinese history, but I know that.
So I know a lot about them. What sort of things do you want to hear about? Let's go. Delicious news. I can definitely do scandalous. Oh, you're going to absolutely love this. It's really, really hot. Unfortunately, it probably doesn't go into as much detail as you'd like, but well, just see for yourself.
Where's the new stuff?
I guess in block 4? Or no, block 2.
Oh, a new block!
Block 2, you say?
Hehe. I figured there might be 10 blocks. Rather than a security AI, she seems like someone who started the fights. So this is one of the incompetent brothers' wives.
Nice. Yeah. Do you want to read this one, or should I?
Sure. When I first saw you bringing my husband home in the late hours of the night, I was jealous. All I could think of was my daughter and the first courtesan he'd had an affair with 9 years ago. With every brief glimpse of you that I saw as you passed through our home, my heart burned a little, as if you embodied every single fault of my farce of a marriage. I'll never send this letter, because I know how ridiculous it sounds. For weeks, I, a noble wife, could be jealous of a poor courtesan, but you are young and beautiful, full of energy and grace, and I am none of these things. So only after you had been entertaining him for a month did I start to realize what I was feeling. True, I was jealous, but not of you for having my husband. I was jealous of my husband for having the affections of a girl so pretty as you. These are such ridiculous thoughts for a woman to have, I know, and even more ridiculous still is the way that they have overwhelmed me. I used to dread my husband bringing his courtesans home with him. Now I look forward to your nights together. How could it not? It means I am treated to the sight of your bashful face in the morning. Oh, this is really sad, actually. When we exchange glances, you hide behind your long hair with so much cuteness and grace, my eyes but can't help but wander to admire the way it rests on your breasts, to see your clothes draped loosely over your hips. I cannot help myself from admiring your body as you tried to hide from me. It is ridiculous to be so preoccupied with such thoughts, and perhaps I was better off not having ever realized them. Nevertheless, even though I may be as much of a woman as you are, I find myself longing for the same affections that you shower my husband with. There is more to it than that. I would like to truly get to know you better. I like to imagine that we have much in common, aside from the obvious. When I see you hiding in the corridor on those mornings, I imagine wrapping my own arms around those lovely hips, sharing long conversations about our tribulations in life, discovering just how much alike we are, and perhaps I like to imagine we could share more than that. I've been married for 10 years to a man who has never paid me any attention for 9 of them. Perhaps my old age has made me bold, but I want more. Old age. The next time I see you, I promise I will say something. For in all my 26 years, I've never felt a longing for anything this intensely. I don't care how wrong it is. As a wife and as a woman, I want you, Hannah. That's right. Queer people existed in old times. They just didn't get written about.
Or had any vocabulary to describe themselves.
I bet they did.
Oh, probably.
But,
yeah,
like,
actually,
it's the kind of thing that, like, I would say probably hundreds of years of straight white male historians have been like, brown people didn't exist in the olden times, gay people didn't exist in the olden times, women didn't have any thoughts in the olden times, this is unimportant for us to learn about.
Oh,
Actually, I want to send, let's show that to Mute. I don't think that's scandalous, I think that's sweet.
I bet that wasn't what you were expecting from a noble wife, was it? I still have a hard time believing that she was really capable of sinking to that.
Oh, I don't like you, Mute.
But, well, it totally does get even better, I'll show you. Just be warned, it's pretty depraved stuff.
Oh.
Whoa. 5 days later. To my lovely Sojin, you made it so easy, you know what? You know that? I've always wanted to be seduced. The more I learned about it, the better I got at it. The more I thought about how lucky men are that they'll be able to be on the receiving end of it. It's always seemed like it would be so much fun. But that wasn't why I dropped my guard in front of you, by the way. Why I was actually really wary the whole time you were serving me breakfast. Do you know what I first thought? I thought that maybe you were trying to poison me. I mean, not seriously, of course, but it crossed my mind. So no, I was really guarded until you started talking. You know what it was that got me? Do tell me, how hard is it studying to be a courtesan? I answered modestly. Oh, you know, there's nothing to learn. You just have it or you don't. The answer that any man would expect. But you wouldn't have any of that. You said, please don't lie. I actually want to know. It takes years, does it not? That must be intense for a girl of your age. Then you leaned in. I started to blab about how it kind of is pretty... Come on, brain. I started to blab about how it kind of is pretty intense, and I only realized an hour later that I was staring into your eyes, telling you, proudly no less, about my whole life story. Our faces were barely a foot apart by the time I noticed what you'd done.
Can I just cut in? She is not a highborn lady, she's a courtesan, and look at how much more casual her writing is.
Yeah.
It's much more like Hyunai's.
Yeah.
Good writing!
Yeah.
Good writing! Personality through letters.
And that was how you caught me totally off guard. I had no idea what to do. Should I touch you? What's the right body language in that situation? Was I even interpreting you right, or was it all just in my head? Not even the slightest clue. You had me good. And you played it so well. You know, just the right moment to pull back and tell me to go on my way, but in a way that left me wondering. So, Jin, you made it so easy. Returning home, my heart was so affluttered, my feelings so confused, and all I could think about was you. You, the bored old wife of my patron, actually managed to seduce me, just like that. I'd always wanted to know that feeling, and you know, it was everything I dreamed it would be.
This is really sweet. Oh wait, let's show this to Mute. So we can get the whole story here.
You want more from the whore? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Here you go.
Yeah, Mute sucks.
Yeah.
I know why Hyunai turned you off.
This one in particular is just, wow, really, wow. Yeah, it's super depraved, man. It's also just, what a 16-year-old. Here, read it for yourself.
I'm gonna save. Actually, no, let's save here. How can anyone manage this? I do not know. Whenever I'm with you, I feel as though there's so much pressure to be perfect, to not let you down, as if every hour of our being together is like a marriage interview with an emperor. And yet I can't stand it when you're gone. All I can think of all day is how I could hold your attention for next time. The night you snuck over knowing my husband was out, I was so terrified. You just suddenly appeared on my doorstep, your face veiled as if you were a noblewoman, and I knew I could hardly turn you away. Do you know why I immediately went to make you tea, making you wait in the other room? To give me a chance to calm my nerves. I was so surprised to realize you were just as nervous as I, so I knew I could take advantage of that. I put both cups on the same side of the table and sat cross-legged. Come, I said, sit with me, and gestured. You were so graceful sitting on my lap, your small body just the right size, and when I saw together that even you couldn't help but blush, and so we drank tea together. But halfway through, you put your cup back down and turned around so you were facing me, our heads just inches apart. You whispered, forget about the tea, and clasping my free hand, your tiny fingers intertwined with mine, and you kissed me so softly. Up until that point, I'd been so worried trying to figure out what I should do. Was I playing the man's role, or were you? But after smelling the scent of your breath and tasting the sweetness of your lips, how could I possibly ignore the passion stirring enough to care about such things? I put my cup down, took you by the chin, gently pushing you away. Oh, what longing and uncertainty was in your eyes at that moment, beautiful Hannah. I smiled as I stared back at them, intoxicated with the fact that I had you now literally under my thumb. I unclasped our hands and undid the bow of your... Oh, my. They look at boobs and kiss. Aw. That's very nice. I get to second base, I think. Is second base the one where you get under the shirt?
I don't know.
I don't know. So that's a kiss counter. Definitely, that's another kiss for this. Write down the log codes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So this is block 2. Sorry, this is the courtesan.
Yeah.
I guess we would label this.
Yeah, and then these are the log codes 2XA02. Oh, the codes do include the block number.
Oh, they do.
I like how these letters never got sent either.
Yeah.
They just wrote them. But I'm glad they worked it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to send them. I guess.
Let me know when you are ready to go.
All right.
Yeah, because we can show these to Hyunai.
Yeah.
She'd probably be more sympathetic to the Smith family. Did she know? Oh, she's probably read all this, so. She said she'd read everything.
Oh, yeah, she did. You know what the first thing they teach you about this role is? Of course you do. I told you all about it. The first thing they teach you is never to fall in love. Nobody ever actually said, make sure you're in control, but that's the only way it'll ever work well. I'm supposed to be the one making people fall for me. Love is for men stupid enough to buy me out from the Emperor, not for me personally. I know exactly how you managed to do it, but so Jin, you got me all the same. You know they teach us poetry because if you appeal to men's vanity and seem a little bit clever, it's a good way to hold on to them, get them to keep paying. With the flattering kind, sincerity never really factors too much. An abandoned line from the one I've been trying to write for you. You grab my heart just as tightly as you grab my breast. Too trite, way too trite. It's true, but I'm not going to dump such a lousy metaphor on you. For you, you absolutely deserve sincerity. It has nothing to do with vanity and everything to do with the fact that I really do totally love you. It's not sexual. I mean, it is sexual too. I still get hot thinking about how you had your way with me and how I want to return the favor, but it's not just that. It's that you understand me, that you listen to me. I can pour my heart out in front of you. I can cry in front of you, and you get it. You don't feel bad. You don't feel pity. You don't use it as an excuse to manhandle me. You just get it and comfort me by being there and listening.
Aw.
I love you so, Jin. I'm not supposed to, but I really do.
I don't really want to show this to mute.
Traco ZG, resub for the 57th month. New sub. I've been at this for 57 months. Totally worth it. Thank you. Well, this is going to have a miserable ending.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of feel pity for her. She probably really did think that kind of actually was love. Which is just, come on, how uneducated can you be? Anyway, I guess you want to see more now, right? That's really just the shocking details you've seen so far. Here's the part where things actually get scandalous. I've added 3 more entries.
I believe now we have them all.
Yeah.
All
except unsent There's
we've shown her these 2.
Yeah.
And we've shown her this one. I think. No.
Yeah. That one is just wow. Anyway, I guess you want to see more now, right? That's really just the shocking details you've seen so far. Here's the part where things actually get scandalous. I've added 3 more entries.
Interesting. Okay, so showing her any of that stuff will get you the other ones. Alright.
My art is...
I think after we're done reading this, we are going to have to call this stream a break and come back next week to unravel more of these mysteries.
Yeah, it's 10 to 12.
Yeah. But let's finish reading through this block.
Okay.
My art is that of lies and lying, and of both I have so much practice. I've said to men I love you falsely. I've suffered pain but smiled in pleasure. The hardest lie I've ever told was that I could live without you. Aw. Oh wait, maybe I should show that to mute. I don't think this will get us anything new.
Man, how's that for verse? Really, it's not the translation, I assure you. It's not exactly any better in the original Korean. Can you believe that was actually written by somebody who had studied poetry for years? Seriously?
I don't really care about...
Yeah.
I don't care about being Mute's friend. I don't like her.
No. Maybe not for what it is. Maybe you might find it successful at being arousing. That's fair enough. But with all due respect, I don't think that's really enough to make a good poem. I don't know much about the subject, but I mean, come on.
Stormshot has cheered with 100 bits saying, I forgot how good this game is. It makes me excited for Christine Love's next game.
Oh, when is her next game coming out?
Very soon. She was
Really?
she was showing it at PAX, but the Indie Mega Booth was rammed every time I went through there, so I did not get a chance to look at it.
There's a reason why men's poetry is what gets studied and taught, and women's poetry is just used for seduction. You need real sincerity. You need someone who actually understands love.
Ah!
It's titillating, sure, but it's crap. Anyway, though, I guess you want to see the other poem that whore wrote for her? Right, of course. Here, have it.
Cartophiles cheered with another 100 bit saying, 100 for the good writing, good acting from Cam and Kathleen, and fun times.
Oh, thank you. If you found the last one arousing, well, it's not any good, but I'm sure you'll be entertained at least. I'm sorry I can't give you one that was meant for a man, though. That's all the whore's poetry for Sojin. She didn't seem to write down the ones she did for anyone else, so that's all you can get.
Hey!
Pretty flower.
So if you want to write down this one too.
Oh, right.
It's 1288. Pretty flower, who could plant you, that abandon you in your bed? Each day I stop to admire your aroma. Will your gardener mind? Each night I pluck my own petals, but dream of yours in bloom. That is quite dirty.
Yeah. Do we show it to mute?
Oh yeah, let's show it to
I
you.
guess.
I don't think anything...
Man, how's that for verse? Can you believe that was actually written by some... Yeah, it's the same thing. W. Nivik has given us 1,000 bits. I quite like playing this game, and I look forward to you fine folks finishing it. Have some bits. Thank you.
Alright. Let's go through these unsent letters. It was only after I finally started to become comfortable with you, confident that you really were mine and that I didn't have to work to impress you, things got complicated. Oh. My husband had left for the day and you were still lingering, having spent the night with him, but it was for me that you had sent a new love poem and I undressed you while you sang it. When you were done, you clung to me, stripping me in turn while I simply kissed you and ran my hands from your tiny waist to your smooth ankles, and soon enough we were both naked. Oh no!
Okay.
The husband comes in! First, I'll read this out loud. First, I had felt so uncomfortable exposing my body like that to you, as if you'd seen then finally realized how old I am. But you never did seem to mind, not as you placed soft kisses on my breasts, nor as you straddled me with your legs around my waist and arms around my neck. So entranced was I at that moment that I never heard the footsteps outside. We just started to kiss when the door suddenly opened. What a scene to walk into. There my husband was... In the doorway, his courtesan and wife naked together, mouths still connected by a strand. For a moment, nobody said anything. And that time I felt terror as never before in my life. Sang-min is not a gentle man, and while he'd hardly ever raised his hand to me, I was still overwhelmed with horror that he might hurt me, or even worse, that he would hurt you. I had seduced you, but in that moment I realized if he did try, there's nothing I could do to protect you. But just as we were stammering our "I'm sorry, sirs," he just laughed and laughed. "Well," he said, ogling us with that cold stare of his, "I'm certainly paying you enough for two." And he walked over, raised his hand, and then as I stared in terror, but all he did was pat you on the head as though you were a child. I don't know what she told you, but you don't have to pay any attention to her. Easier just to ignore her, really. All you could do was start to stammer, "I wanted to." We were both so afraid, but he just laughed and shrugged. "Whatever," he said as he passed through the other door. Neither of us knew what to do other than climb off each other and scramble to cover ourselves back up. While we both clumsily tried to dress ourselves, Sang-min walked back through the room once more, carrying a satchel. He'd forgotten it for work, I suppose. Don't stop on my account. If you ask permission, you can do whatever the hell you want," he said. Then he laughed again. "Don't know what you think you're even going to do, though. Aren't you two missing something?" I wish he'd struck me instead. It would have hurt me far less than what he said, or what you had to watch me do. Huh. I mean, looking at the dates here, this sort of resolves itself one way or the other.
Yeah. It's so unfair. Why couldn't you have been born a man instead? Sure, you'd lose your beauty and the gentleness I love about you, but at least you'd be able to do something. I and Sang-min would be jealous instead of thinking of you as completely unthreatening. I just know you want to be able to stand up for me, and it's killing me to see that you're powerless too. Right now, he's happy to keep me around. You know, it gets him off to have something to hold over my head. I had no idea you were so lustful that you even settle for a woman, he said. What's that like? The worst part? I know that the only way to keep seeing you is to play along. Oh, well, for a girl my age, I respond and press my hands against his face to look like I'm embarrassed. It's just playing. It's not the same without, I trail off because he thinks it's so cute when I'm too ashamed to say the word cock. Poor girl, he says as he roughly gropes me, and I force out all those soft moans and gasps to make him think that he's really making me happy, and I say awful things, love. I say such awful things about you, it kills me, it just kills me. And then I beg, just to see more of you. I don't know what it leaves a worse taste in mouth, him or those words. What else can I do? I'm sorry, Sojin. I know the last time I talked with you, all I did was cry. Thanks for not asking. It was just so hard to hold it all in while smiling cutely for your husband. We have the worst fate ever, don't we?
Oh.
Well, yeah, I guess you can probably also find that sort of thing cute, right? It's okay, I guess. That's why a smart man stays the hell away from whores. Deception is just what they do. Well, that's women in general, I guess, now that I think about it. Still, I bet if he'd read what she'd written there, he'd never have wanted to sleep with her. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading.
I don't think we showed her this one.
Just imagine that scene, her and the whore pleading with her husband, being mocked like that. What do you make of that? I know, right? I mean, really, what an awful, pitiful scene. I'm not saying he didn't have the right to say those things. Of course he did. That's his prerogative. And sure, she was a bad wife. But still, even if he had the right, that is a shitty way to treat her. He should have been a better man than that. Just really, what a pathetic scene. Just absolutely pathetic. He should have been ashamed, not laughing. Just no sense of shame. I'm glad you think so, too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading.
Don't like mute.
Yeah,
They're just doing a very good job to make me dislike this person.
I also like how the AIs are able to frame and guide conversations, because they only present you with two options, right? Like, the first thing mute does is ask if you're a man or a woman, right? She presents you with that binary, which I think is designed to, like, well, not designed to, but, like, it'll rankle Christine Love's audience, right?
Yeah.
The first thing mute does is ask you to present yourself as a binary to her.
Yeah.
Right?
Alright, so this is our last letter. The last time we spoke, I poured wine for you. Rather than the usual tea, it seemed as though you needed it. I held you tight while you drank, petting your hair and wiping every tear to drop from those deep, sad eyes. He's going to get bored eventually, you had said, and though I tried to comfort you, we both knew it to be true. I could try pressuring him to buy you, I had offered. It was our only option, really. If he didn't, you'd simply return to the service of the government, to be rented out to who knows who, and we'd never meet again. Ugh. Thanks, you said. Do you think he'll listen, you asked? I wish nothing more than to be able to lie to you, to say that of course I did and that it'll be alright. No, I said. I couldn't. We sat for a long time in silence. Finally, I said, even that would be worse than you deserve. He owns me and see how I'm treated. I wish you could have far better. Sorry, you said. Please don't be. All of this is my fault. If I had just been a good wife and left well alone, all this heartbreak could have been avoided, I said, trying to calm you, but you only cried more. When you had no more tears left, you spoke again. What about the other courtesan you bought? The real mother of Min-hee. What if you blackmailed him? If only. I would do it gladly for you, but the royal family knows already. I shot off my mouth in front of Mute once without thinking, and soon enough, it was my own fault too. Oh, you said. What if I gave him a son? You suggested. Even though I knew how appalling the thought was to you, and I couldn't help but laugh when I thought of why it would never work. Oh, Hannah, 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 I said. Do you think the reason I've never gotten pregnant was for lack of trying? I stroked your cheek. In the months you've been with him, has your period been disrupted even once? No, you said, as you realized what I was saying. It would never work. As tears fell from your eyes once more, you started to laugh too. I figured it was, all chance. These people's lack of ability to have children makes me think something greater is happening.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
The Smith family's not having sons. The Kim family had to bring in the pale bride because they thought that would finally provide the son.
Yeah.
Like, we were only getting kids through courtesans at some point.
Yeah, all of these, the birth rate is declining. Or at least male sons aren't being born anymore, and the society seems to live or die by its male sons.
I shook my head. No child in the first year of marriage. That is chance, I said, laughing sadly. Whether he is too proud or stupid to realize, I know not. But one child in 11 years of marriage? That is not chance. That is an impotent man raising somebody else's daughter. You looked at me, realizing the plan was doomed. There aren't any real men in this house, are you? You said finally. We laughed and laughed. Your future so sadly uncertain.
Well, there you have it. That's it for the scandalous and sordid story of the noble wife of Sojin and her husband's whore. I keep going back and forth on how to feel about the whole thing. On the one hand, I feel pretty bad for Sojin. It should never have had to sink to that for her. On the other hand, well, it's not like she still didn't make decisions for herself. It'd be wrong to just cover it up, right? I respect her, but at the end of the day, she did do unspeakable things with a whore. I'm just kind of conflicted, especially now that she's long gone. Well, anyway, what do you think of all of that?
Scree! These choices!
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say it was awful, but not for the reason the Mute's gonna think.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mute is very aggressively framing what our dialogue options are here.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, which is... Like, if we say it's hot, it's just like, oh, it was hot because two girls were kissing.
Yeah.
And it was awful because two girls were kissing. But what I would say is awful that they had to be in that situation in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I know, right? No matter how you look at it, that's true for sure.
No.
Watching a good woman fall like that.
No!
You get the idea, I'm sure. Anyway, that's all I want you to keep in mind. Stories like that, even the messed up ones. There's a reason why the last one dates the year 322. It's not that the affair came to the conclusion, it's just that they both died. So yeah, even if it is one hell of a story, it's one that ended completely abruptly. Just remember that, alright? I'm sympathetic to her and all. I really am, but... Look, I still had to tell my mistress all about it. I just couldn't hide that. And frankly, I don't think she should have been gossiping about it, not least of all to a whore. Doing unspeakable things to her, well, that's messed up, but it only affects herself. But telling the whore about her husband's failings, that's just reckless. That could harm the whole family. Well, not that the family needed any help cementing its ruin at that point. But it's the principle of the thing. It's still wrong. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading.
Interesting. I feel like next week if we load up Hyun,
Yeah.
Hyunai, and get her to read those things, we'll get more context.
Yeah.
So, but I think because it's 12:01, I think it's time to go. But I guess we do have to do the thing because Paul built the thing. So I guess we're gonna. Can you type the now kiss command into chat?
Yeah.
It's !kiss, I believe, or is it !now kiss? It's been a while since I did this. Yes, there we go. There's the straw poll, and then if you can go to poll, that should connect, and we'll be able to see what people think we should keep playing. I saw something there for a second. Huh. Links are broken? Oh, darn. Can you... Oh, there it goes. It just took a while. Everybody is voting for us to play this again next week, which is good, because I want to keep playing this game.
Yeah,
How about you,
I'm
Cameron?
intrigued.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened to these people.
Me too. I mean, we could technically just be like, we have the password, done. I don't...
Yep.
But we're deep into it now.
Well, it's like, oh god, the people who made Gone Home, they made a new game. Something Station. It's a similar conceit.
Tacoma.
Tacoma, right? You go to the space station and you're supposed to be like, I'm a courier, I'm here to pick something up. Apparently in that game you can just actually, like, beat it in 15 minutes by just doing your job. Right? You just download the file and you're like, peace, I'm out, and leave.
Yeah.
Or like, was it, you know, the games where you go to foreign countries and kill people.
Shooter games.
Yeah. The one where you're going to your father's home country?
Oh, Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 4, yeah.
Yeah, you can just sit there and patiently wait for Pig and Min to come back, and then it's like the secret speedrun strat for the game. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So, yeah. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Cameron and I will be back next week for more of this really good game.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
I'm intrigued.
Oh, but coming up in about an hour, we have the crapshoot, and it's going to be a writing-only crapshoot.
Ooh.
So that'll be fun.
All right. Catch
Bye,
you
all.
then. Peace.